One!
Welcome in, everybody. Stan, what's going on, man? Oh, that rhymed.
Hi.
How we all doing today? It's a beautiful Monday.
Chris, you're the only one that matters.
Hey,
I need to know you're doing okay because you keep all the rest of us okay.
Jason, you're the only one that matters. Right?
No, I mean, I know that, but I'm just trying to give you some credit.
No free pub.
I'm trying to give you some credit.
Ghost Hunter's like on time. What's going on, everybody? Stan, Haley, Jeff, Ghost Hunter, Shadowcast, Zivix, Seth, Morocco. How we all doing? Sugar Rush.
How's the weekend? Who did the best stuff?
Hopefully you all had a beautiful weekend. Cats, what's going on? We're doing pretty good.
Jordan and Philip and I did some hobbying.
How was that, Jason?
It was a lot of fun.
You got a lot done?
I feel like I got a lot done. It was not necessarily the kind of stuff that I was hoping to get done, but I needed to do some basing and getting parts glued back on models and stuff, and so I did all that to where now I think the whole Tau army is ready to be primed, all the rest of the models.
Oh, I was going to say, so even the little guys you got done too.
I did not base the remaining little guys.
But they don't all need rocks, right?
They don't all have to have rocks, but they do need basing material on them.
Oh, I see.
Half of them have it, and half of them don't.
Oh,
so
Jason.
there's still some stuff that needs to be done there. I forgot about those guys until the end of the session on Saturday. So I was like, well, I'll just do those after I paint them, because I've already painted them. Right,
Okay.
I've already started all of the main paint on the Fire Warriors, so I can't just turn around and be like, oh yeah, we'll just face them now. So they kind of are what they are until I get further along with them.
Stan says, I painted all weekend, really getting into my Wii Army painting.
Nice.
Nice. Sarcastic Grandpa, thank you so much for that sub. Wad, I'm here for you.
He's not.
Skinner says, I hear you can make me rich. Please give money. Give money. No, we can tell you.
Get rich quick. Ask me Tau.
Jason.
Sir.
How do we get rich, Jason? How do we get rich? How do the people get rich? Tell them all in one sentence.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not really a program that teaches you how to get rich. It tells you what to avoid.
Okay.
Do not start a hobby company.
What?
Yeah, don't start a hobby company.
What are you talking about? There's money all over the place.
Don't start a hobby company. Go into stonks.
Did you say stonks?
Yeah, stonks.
Excuse you. Okay. Oh.
Buy high, sell low.
Buy high, sell low.
Not the thing.
buy high, sell low. Buy high, hold on to them forever.
That's how you get
Never
rich.
sell them.
That's how you get rich.
Buy high.
Buy high, sell low.
Rocco says, I painted for 12 hours straight on Saturday. Holy moly. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Oh, Paints, what's going on?
Hopefully you got a lot of cool stuff done.
Commando Ken. Kenneth Red. Tech Elf. Stonks sounds like a male version of Hooters, says Stan. Patent pending. Commando Ken says, Jason says don't start a hobby company because he's worried about competition. LOL. Oh, we're not worried about competition around here. They should be worried about us.
100%.
Kublam. Schlanky.
They should be worried about Chris.
I found out that Jason likes to use my idioms every once in a while.
Oh my God, they just stick in my head. Kablammer.
Kushlanky.
I found myself over the weekend being like, kablammer, and I was like, oh no!
Oh God, why?
I can't let it be.
Oh, what's going on?
Thank goodness I haven't done it where Jen can hear.
Oh no, because then she would
She's
laugh.
gonna be like, wait a minute.
Jen would laugh. Gnarl says, order my one-step special sauce. I'm eagerly awaiting to paint my Bone Reapers. Nice. Hopefully you all had a great hobby weekend. It's Monday. We got a big week coming up. It's always a big week here at Monument. Jason, what are you doing today?
I'm priming a ghost kill.
How are you doing that?
How am I doing with a airbrush?
That's true. And this is with our black primer. If you don't know what he's using, Jason
This
uses
is a repaint.
all
so
Monument
this is
Hobbies
going
products.
over the green that all of these guys were.
And D-Fresh, it is our black airbrush primer.
That it is.
Hold on. It is our black
Kablammer.
It's our It's our black airbrush
I will
primer.
stab you.
No, I'm and here hold.
And I did this guy. Prime this guy first.
Kushlanky.
Kashlanky.
There it is. Black primer right there. You can grab it there.
Quiblammer.
How's everyone doing? Oh, you did that guy first. Let me zoom in on that, you little sack-filled baggins.
This is the one guy that I don't understand how he's even in the army.
What is that?
This is
That
a
looks like-
Tau ethereal.
That looks like from an entirely different game.
Yeah. It doesn't he's got no armor and he's wearing cloth.
What?
So, yeah. And he's showing the guns off.
Is he a fishman?
Yeah. He's showing the guns off. He has his shades on, and he's holding like a dead rat. I don't know what's in his hand.
What?
It's like the rosary. I don't know what's in his hand.
That's wild. That does not look like a Tau model.
I have no idea. These are like the priests. These are the guys that guide the Tau. They're the
Interesting.
guys that rule the castes.
Very interesting.
And he also, I think, nets you an extra CP every turn, so he's probably pretty critical to bring home.
Okay, so Belial says, my wife decided to enter the monthly challenge and finish her very first model this weekend.
Awesome.
She knocked it out of the
That's
park.
great.
Hey, that's awesome. Oh, let me punch back out. That's super cool, Belial.
Tell her congrats. That's awesome. Thank you for joining in and being brave. So I did something that Chris told me never to do.
Uh-oh. Buy more Tau?
No. I have all the Tau I need.
Buy more Conquest.
My Tiger Shark isn't here yet, so
Oh.
I still have more to build, but overall we're pretty good.
So wait a second. What'd you do?
I converted this guy.
Oh, Jason, you literally said you weren't going to say that.
I know.
You're putting the company at stake. I'm sorry, chat.
I said I don't convert models anymore. That age of Jason is done. And yet I did a little quick kit-bashy conversion on this guy because he didn't have all the parts I recognized as I was going to prep him for priming. I was like, oh, wait a minute. There's some stuff not here.
I like how you
So
put
I
the
mounted
little missiles,
I
though.
mounted the fusion
Yeah,
cannon on his shoulder.
it is pretty cool, though.
And on the, because he's supposed to have two shoulder-mounted fusion blasters, but his big gun goes on the arm normally. And then I took what should have been on the shoulders and mounted it down on the arm.
Yeah.
Because normally these guys look like this.
Oh, boy, you're right. Ah, that's cool. I kind of like this, though.
Right? So
This
I
whole
like
thing?
I like the big gun on the shoulder and then the two small guns on the arm rather than vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Right?
So that's what I did here. Just because I didn't have the parts that you needed. These parts have to have a specific gun that, or way they're put together, and I didn't have the part that goes onto the backpack that raises them up. So I built a contraption, but it would only work on one side. And so I built a contraption out of other parts and pieces that make a
gun.
a deal, and then a sight rangefinder on the other side.
That's cool, though. I really like that. Those little gun on that guy. Hey, what's going on? Thank you. Bum chicken? I don't know if I said that right.
It
but
felt more
thank
like
you.
having the flamers on the arm made sense, so he could just kind of point the arm over there and gut the house with flame,
I like
as
that.
opposed to the other way. So anyway, that's my small little conversion there.
Seth Squatch says, once you start kit bashing, Jason, you always kit bash.
Well, you got to remember, I've sculpted my own minis before. It's just that the older I get, the more I hate building models. And that includes kit bashing. Just give me the model, make it work the way it's supposed to. I'm fine. I don't need all that anymore. But this one didn't come with the right parts because I bought this army off a guy. He sent a lot of parts, and he sent a bunch of empty sprues, tons of drones and stuff, but those weren't there. I thought they were, but they weren't. And all the big weapons were magnetized. So I was like, I don't want magnetized weapons. I just want to glue the model on and be done. So I still have the other big gun But I put the fusion gun on him. I can run him as whatever I want. But I thought it looked pretty good.
I think it looks great.
And it let me get the model done without having to do any other parts or not have the guns on the shoulders or something. So I figured it would make it a little more unique, and that way I can run my other ghost kill in there if I need to.
But Jason.
But Christopher.
Are you going to play the game?
I will.
The people want to know.
I will. I will play one game.
Okay.
One game.
You don't have to.
At minimum, I will play one game.
The chat wants to know.
I will play one game. At minimum.
Avian says, tell Jason to offer these kids some money to build his models just like Gramps will ask his grandkids to go down to the store and buy him some hooch.
What?
Avian.
Are you drunk?
He already does that.
Stoned?
He already does that.
What is happening?
He already does that.
I do what?
You ask people to build their models in trade.
Oh, heck
he
yeah.
trades.
Heck yeah.
Bald man, you can't demand anything. Bald man says,
bald.
I want bald. I almost said bald angels. I want the blood angels back on stream. And then you're saying that to Chris, which you think I have any control of that whatsoever.
I don't know that you understand how it works around here.
I say, hey, Jason, what are you going to paint? And he goes, I don't know. And then I go, great, 3, 2. That's how it typically goes here. And that's royal purple for all of you sitting in the back.
What's wrong with Tau?
Jason, I was really committed to not using Tau anymore. But then you surprised me today.
Well, I was like, if we're going to keep the stupid thing going, we got to do it right. Get rich quick, ask me Tau.
Avian says, not stoned. Wait, Jason, your grandpappy did not give you cash to buy booze at the corner store?
Never. I don't know a time in my life where my granddad didn't have the entire place loaded with booze
at all times.
At all times.
Hey,
your grandfather was a slacker. If he had a time where he needed somebody to go get him booze. That's what I'm saying. My granddad was drunk all the time.
10 months. Thank you, Frigid. I was sitting in the back but moving forward to see my favorite color besides Jade and Royal Purple. Ooh, ah. Wait, I've got that. Where is it? Oh, look at that purple. That's royal purple for all of you kids out there. Tried painting an actual army. Okay, those strong soldiers beat the living pigment out of me.
Which ones?
Which ones? I'm not understanding. I tried painting an actual army. Those strong soldiers. Which army were you trying to do? Chris, you won't allow me to have my own bald angels. Bald man, you can have your own bald angels. Kondo says, I'm waiting by the... Yeah, I almost said bald angels because he said blood angels, but bald angels now I think would be hilarious. If you got all the heads, the Space Marine heads, but they were all bald.
I wish we would have said this about 2 years ago.
Dang it! Jason's like this.
I would have done the whole army as bald angels. And just acted like, what do you mean? That's not right?
Wait a second.
What are you talking about?
Wait a minute.
That's right?
Kando says, I'm waiting by the door for my one-step shipment to arrive. That's awesome. And commitment.
Awesome.
Scorcher says, can we just appreciate for a moment how great Royal Purple is?
It's kind of good.
It's magical. Frigid says, got my go bag and holy bag. The pictures don't do this bag any justice. I believe the bag is going to replace my current hobby rack entirely besides current projects. Love it. Next level. Chat, go get yourself one, says Frigid. Hey.
It is amazing.
It is a work of art.
It really is. And you're right. Like a lot of people criticize it for the price, right? They're like, oh, you're just trying to rob us of our money for a bag that has some foam in it. And then they see it. We had one customer that's exactly what he said. He said, "Oh, for a cheap bag and some foam, $200." And
Yeah.
then he saw one out in the wild and sent us an email
Yeah.
apologizing and bought one
Wait a second.
because he saw it out in the wild after having. I said, you just got to see one. You can't knock it until you've seen one because we can't do it justice in photos on the web. You have to see one in action.
It's tough.
It is worth more than we charge. When you see it in action, you will say you should have charged more.
Yeah.
And he came back and sent us an email behind the scenes. He went and deleted the post where he said that, and came back after the fact and bought one and was like, "I take it all back. I will never doubt you guys again."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's really great. I literally I think I was talking to Ryan about this the other day. The Neo. I have both bags, but right now I keep. I love my Neo. They're both amazing. But if you need your whole station in one thing, that go bag. When I originally,
It's what I use at the studio. At
yeah,
home.
my old house.
My whole painting station at home is just a Go Bag Evo.
Yeah, my old house. I didn't have any space to do it because it was just a 1-bedroom place, and I would take that thing out on my counter and just use it as the whole station. So it's good stuff.
Such a good thing for people who don't have a permanent place to hobby or an easy way to hobby at their house.
Yeah. Yep.
I built it, designed it so that it could be good on the go, but also good for those people who just need a spot where you can throw your stuff out and be like, okay, now I can hobby. And I can put stuff back to the way it was and not have to have my family yell at me or whatever.
Yeah. Stan says, can you attach a Neo and an Evo together like
No,
you do?
We don't suggest doing that only because
It's a lot of bag.
It's a lot of weight. That neither of the straps will hold that much weight. That's the only limitation. The bag itself is great, but you got to remember a shoulder strap can only handle so much weight before it gets unstable, and will break. And the Evo pushes the shoulder strap to its maximum allowable weight already when you throw all 96 colors in there. 96 paints weighs a lot.
Okay, so Avian says, okay, so I do have the Go bag and the Neo and 2 of the old bags.
Oh, wow.
I'm tossing my Vallejo paints. Can the foam fit the old bags so I can rehab those bags? Yes.
Yes, it's the same foam. We did that deliberately.
Yep.
So that the it's sized a little different, but it fits.
Oh, to go next question based off of that, Sigavax is asking, in your opinion, what's the best light to go with it? These foldable Amazon lights, Jason? These ones?
We like them.
We like them. They fit really well. They're just you could literally
stick LED lights that work pretty well. Those are really nice. They
you go on
they're easy to tote around.
There's a bunch. There's so many.
So we have a pair of those in the back of my Evo when I travel, so I can just pop them out. They have the base that unscrews, so the weighted base comes off. So they're nice and ergonomic. They shove in the back compartment and like they were meant for it. And then they still have to plug in, but they make battery operated versions of those that you can charge that work pretty well. The problem with the battery operated ones is the bases don't come off that I've seen.
Oh, this is a good question.
They still fold up and go in the back of the bag though. Is the bag meant to be is the BAB meant to be a dry brush? It can be. It can be. It's a big flat dry brush, but it can also just be a basing brush for tanks and whatever else you're doing. It's just a good big brush. Terrain, we use it for all sorts of stuff. But yes, it will do great as a flat dry brush. What do you think for camo green highlight? I like faded green. Still can't believe you guys don't thin the paint in the airbrush. No. For base coats, I don't, because I want all that color, and I only want to have to do one coat, so I don't want it thin. Now, if I wanted to have more of the black show through, I would thin this. But generally, when I'm doing, a base coat like this, I just shoot it unthinned, right into the brush for all of our colors, really, except for like heavy warm white, heavy titanium white, because they won't spray.
That ghost kill.
Captain Smo, what's going on?
I like that ghost kill.
All right, pale yellow. Is that what it did here?
Pale yellow.
I feel like I did pale yellow.
What's going on, everybody? We're painting up some towel, and by we, I mean Jason, and by Jason, I mean all of us. How y'all doing? We're doing the classic now. This is the classic towel workup. When do we get to call this workup classic?
Like, what do you mean it's classic?
Like, it's classic, man. You know?
It's not, though.
Like, it is now, technically.
Why, because I painted more than one model with it?
Yeah, it's classic.
Okay. I don't think that's the way that works, but okay, fine. Okay, fine.
I saw that, Stan. Typically, I'll say no links, but because that's a link to a Monument YouTube video, I'll let it pass. Thank you very much.
Magic
How are you, Chris?
in a bottle.
Do you believe in magic? Magic? I thought Jason was totally going to relay that one.
We don't sing here.
There are occasions where you do. It all depends.
We don't sing here. This is a non-singing, non-dancing
I can thank Jason for having that freaking Hobbies, the lobby song stuck in my head all weekend. Son of a gun.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat. The popcorn can't be beat. Of course I went and learned the song over the weekend. Of course I did.
You knew it already.
I know.
You didn't even have to go learn it.
No, there was a couple ones that the chocolate bars are just dandy. Oh, there's good. Oh, man.
Oh, I love it.
You guys can imagine me in my house singing that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why, God? Why?
Oh, yeah, when you're alone, you can curse and be like, what the absolute? Jason, I hate you.
It's probably... It's good. It's good that I have my private space. That's all I'll say. Rogue Leader, when you mix a normal line paint with one step for airbrushing, what's the general ratio? 1 + 1 + water?
A normal line paint with one step for airbrushing.
Just kind of like what you did with this one.
Yeah, about 50-50. I put a little spritz of water in there. I don't really know why. It doesn't need it necessarily. But I put a little spritz of water in it. Really what I'm doing here is I'm wanting to go do two things. I'm wanting to thin the opacity down. And then I'm also wanting to get the flow better for a bright color over a dark color, right? That's usually the biggest problem. Here I'm backing out about 8 inches and doing the same spray on the dark side, but just as a very light filter so that my darkest shadows are just from up underneath and the mid-tones are still frosted even on the dark side. And then, of course, super bright on our highlight side.
Rattle can. I appreciate you. I went to go give you hearts, but I deleted your message in YouTube on accident because I was so excited. So that's why. So I'm sorry. Here, very professional, chat. I
can't change things, Chad.
Yeah, you can't. I'm sorry. I apologize. Rattle can.
Although we discovered today that Chris does not know that I'm the actual FBI agent hunting him.
I really wish you were all there for this conversation over the last 45 minutes about how I'm a double agent and then Jason's a double agent and we're both double agents going after the same guy, which is me and him, but then I'm like going through Jason to get to another guy, but I can't tell him because I work for the FBI. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot
to take.
It's one FBI, one CIA.
It was a lot to take.
One's MI6. What is that? It's MI6 is the...
I'm just going to leave him on the table here because it's a lot easier. And I'm going to fire from the 10 o'clock. Okay. So left or right shoulder, our left. And I'm going to be about 4 or 5 inches away and just start dusting first so that I can start. I call this dusting because I have the trigger just right where paint starts to come out. So you can see it's just filtering some paint on there, not going very heavy. I can hold it in one spot and brighten it up, but it's going to just do a nice, real quick blend, right? And then I can hold it on my areas where I want real brightness, like around here, top of the shoulder, across the top of the arm, maybe those guns, top of the foot, top of this gun over here, right? But then it blends back everywhere else. And that's the key. And I'll just do that everywhere I can get from this angle. I'll let the paint fall on it. But I don't want to move the brush around like this or around like this. I want to then take the model. If I'm not holding it on big models like this, I want to take it. But I want to show you that by doing it that way, this is what we get, right? So it's just light from one direction, one very stark direction, and everything else is dark, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So I want to turn him, rotate him. If this was where I was shooting, I want to rotate him about 45 degrees, right? Maybe not quite that much. And then do it again so that I can start getting some of the other areas, other leg, torso, crotch, things like that, so that now when we look at it, we're starting to get a little bit more fuzz on those. His torso is huge, so it's going to cover a bunch of that. So I'll pick the model up and say, I know I want the thighs to have a little bit more color on them. Even if that's not necessarily correct, I want to be able to have that kind of a highlight. So I will go in and purposefully pick my color spots like this and just kind of brighten up like that. Just for drama. Get the top of this foot over here a little bit and then fade it down, but always going from our left to right so that I keep with the general gist of what we started with the zenithal. Like so. Get the crotch area, get that panel lit up a little bit better. And a little bit more on this chest area.
This is kind of the basic principle for zenithaling, right?
Yeah, and because most of your models might hide a lot more of the model than you want them to because his torso is so chonky compared to his chicken legs.
Yeah.
So we have to do this kind of place it by ourselves method. Otherwise, you will have the bottom of the model be way too dark, and you need to still get some contrast down there. Otherwise, the model becomes disinteresting, uninteresting.
We wouldn't want that now, right,
No.
Jason?
No. That's not what we're here for. But you want to make sure that everything you do is still keeping that right angle so that you're not covering up any shadows unnecessarily. And that's the biggest thing you got to be careful with. So here I want to make sure, because this side doesn't have any paint on it.
Yeah.
So I want to take that side like this. So this is the way I'm looking at it, right? This is what I'll see.
Yeah.
And so then I'm just going to hold the brush, like I said, about 5-6 inches away. You know, the model's maybe at a 45-degree angle to me, and I'm just going to quickly, again, dust to where I don't have much brightness going on here, but it's enough to take away the pure darkness that would otherwise be on the model there. And I can come in and maybe hit a couple of spots a little bit brighter that I want. Because there's always going to be a little bit of shine, even on the dark side of the model.
And Danger Boy says, I feel like I haven't been going bright enough when doing this underpainting. I have some purple showing, more purple showing than you do.
Yeah, you have to cover a lot of it. You still want to make sure contrast. That's the hardest balancing game, right? Is that you want to make sure you have contrast still. You want to have it be super dark and super bright. So a lot of times it's making sure you go bright enough on the bits that are bright, like this. This is the money shot. This is the way we're going to be looking at the model. So most of the light comes off of his right shoulder, and then we get some light faded across the body. Still have good shadows, right? And then on the back, again, now coming right to left because the angle changes.
Mo's asking, how many big guys do you have left to do in this army, Jason?
Lots. I got, let's see, I based the Storm Surge and the Riptide over the weekend. And the Taunar I based over the weekend.
Taunar? Taunar? Gosh darn it.
Just stop while you're ahead.
Taunar are you doing? That one's almost a full sentence. This is cool. It's so satisfying, huh?
Yeah, and to just make sure that I've got everything looking the way I want. Drag that light a little bit further across the top of that gun because it's bright and flat on the top, but I leave a little bit of shadow towards the right edge, just so it has some depth to it. The helmet I'm not worried about because we're going to paint that white anyway.
I like the little guns on the arm there.
Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. And the big gun on the shoulder.
I almost landed that plane. I couldn't get it all out there. So I'm just glad.
The more you can get brightness on here and stage your contrast, the better off the whole model is going to be at the end of the day. Because when we do the filter over the top, it'll have more to grab onto to give us all the stuffs. Now we are going to dry brush these still. That's one of the big things we're doing on these guys.
Yeah.
Which is dry brushing to catch the edge.
Titanium white, right?
Yeah, titanium white. Huzzah. I'm going to pour this back in the cup. I still have a lot of paint left. But yeah, I did the gun. I built the gun for the Town R and got all that done. I didn't get it primed or painted, but I got the gun for it built, so I can start working on that in earnest. Riptide, Storm Surge, this Ghost Kill. There's 2 more Riptides that are coming that aren't built yet. I don't know if I'll use both. Might only do 1 more.
And the goal is to... Yeah.
9 crisis suits, including commanders.
You're going pretty quick with some of these, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting this stuff done, on the stream today, we'll get these guys to a point where we could, work them to completion.
Oh.
And I could be doing, I could be doing a lot more models, because I could have sprayed more purple and more yellow, and if I'd had more models primed. My goal was to prime all of the crisis suits and be able to do all this for a whole bunch to show you today, but I didn't get the crisis suits primed.
I'll get it primed for you, Jason. I hear you.
Well, I mean, even if you just hit them from the top with the rattle can, and then I'll finish them with the airbrush, would be cool.
You want me to do that?
That would work, yeah.
Oh, I'm scared now.
That would speed things up. Just, you got to be careful. They're a little fragile. Not real fragile. I glued them all back together, but there's some parts that were broken off that I had to put back on.
I don't know.
You'll do fine.
Airbrush is like cheat code for army painting, says Belial. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is the right tool for so many jobs, and there are still people out there that are like, airbrush is cheat. No, airbrush is choosing the proper tool. If you were a construction worker right now and you were working on a house, you need to have a manual hammer.
Yeah.
But you better be using an air hammer, an air nailer for most of what you do, right?
Oh, that's a good way of putting it, right?
Yeah, and because it's just the right tool. It's not that it's the only tool that can do it, but if you're trying to get the job done at the highest quality and most efficient way, then having an airbrush is a guaranteed win, right? Because it is the right tool.
Yeah.
And a brush does the same job, but like I said, that's like saying, yeah, but a hammer does the same job as an air nailer. I don't use a hammer all the time.
Right.
When an air, or a brad nailer works just as well or better at the job.
Mm. No, it's a very good way of putting it because people are like, oh, I don't want to use an airbrush, but they are incredible tools.
Yeah, they're incredible tools. It's the right tool. It doesn't mean you have to have one.
Right. Oh.
When dry brushing, the expert acrylics are fantastic, especially for the white and the black, the opaque ones.
Wouldn't you want me to hit with an airbrush or a rattle can? You want me to do that now?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
no.
Okay. I'm like, I didn't know.
There is a whole box of crisis suits over here.
Oh, okay. I thought you literally wanted me to go outside and just knock them out.
No, there's literally all of these guys.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll be able to do that.
9 of these guys.
And then you got the big guys, so.
And the Riptide and the Storm Surge.
Right. Okay.
But all of these guys.
Not right now, though. I'll do it later. Chuck, what's going on? Welcome in, everybody. We're painting up some Tau today.
You guys got to see this, though. If you haven't ever held one of these in your hand, this is the dumbest thing ever made.
What is that? Oh. That's so... Oh. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
Of course.
This is literally the Town R rail rifle.
For the Supremacy suit?
Yeah, it's a Supremacy suit rail cannon.
What is that? Says
Is
Belial.
is that dumb or dumb?
You said you had to heat gun that? That's
Oh yeah,
That's scary.
this is 2 pieces, and I had to heat gun that because they had to glue together flat and not be all curved. And
boy.
and yeah, so I had to heat that, not distort, because they're also very thin, so not distort the stuff. So
that
Belial, this is the whole reason I got into Tau, is because of this gun. Well, the supremacy suit, right? Not this gun in particular, but the supremacy suit. And when I was on Games Workshop, looking around as I do sometimes, and they had it in stock with all the bits, because normally they'll have the body but not the weapons.
They don't have a lot of that stuff, yeah.
Because you have to buy it all separate and put it together. You have to buy the torso weapon and the arm weapon separately from the body.
Yeah.
And they had the body, which they always do, but they had all enough weapons to put it together. And I was like, they got me. And so I ordered it. And it got here in 3 days, which is silly.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's silly.
No free pub, Jason.
Silly.
But that
Good
is
job.
pretty cool. I can see Jason running around with that in the office going pew pew.
100%. Why wouldn't you? I'm a man that likes to play with my toys.
Watt says, does it transform into Megatron? That story is yet to be told.
I haven't asked it.
Can you ask the railgun real quick if it turns into Megatron?
Hey, Townar, do you turn into Megatron? Do
Town-
not ask silly questions.
One more time with that robot voice?
No, it was horrible.
That was the best. What are you talking about? I tried.
Literally horrible.
Don't ask silly questions.
Do not ask silly questions, mortal.
Do not ask silly questions.
Mortal.
With your drums and guns and drums are hard. No. Oh, painting. I know what you're going for here, but we're not allowed to sing. We don't condone any of that. Question for busy fellows like yourselves: what advice do you have of making time for hobbying aside from it's your job?
It's a great question, and even though it is part of the job, that we get to paint, and that's great. And I test paints, and in order to test paints, I have to paint models when I'm not on stream. The reality for me is, like this weekend, a lot of times being able to have friends that want to get together and do stuff, is great. Jordan and Philip came to the office, and we hobbied for the better part of, good gosh. I mean, we sat around and shot the crap for a couple hours or an hour and a half, but, we were here for 5 or 6 hours, and that was huge, because that really kind of puts the brain in a good space. You're sitting here jawing with your buddies. If you don't have a captive group of friends that does the hobby, then finding a store locally that has a hobby night or a hobby day, or, just taking your stuff down there by yourself and working, get yourself a go bag and go do that, can be great, because it can let you be amongst other people that will help in that nerd environment that you need, I think, to keep you going. And it makes it a destination if you do like that. So there's a lot of stuff that I think that works really well with. Or, simply just make sure you have, a good book to put on. If you like audiobooks, I'm a big audiobook guy, so I can put on a book and get lost in my book. And then the hobbying doesn't seem like it eats up a lot of time. If it's something I'm not super excited about, maybe you're working on an army and you're at the point where it's like, oh God, it's the suck my soul out details part,
Yeah.
and you don't really want to have to be doing that, then finding something that, keeps you motivated through it anyway, having the game on in the background, a book, good music, stuff like that can work wonders.
Yeah, definitely getting groups together is always good, but if you can't, because, that's also rare nowadays, too, because everybody's got stuff going on during the day, typically work and kids or all that kind of stuff.
Starting families.
You're going to have to plan it out, right?
You know, that's one of the biggest hobby killers, I think, is when hobby groups start to have other distractions. You know it as well if you do like D&D, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what keeps your D&D group from getting together at a regular basis? So, you know, other things that can keep it personal if you're not an overly social character anyway. Don't feel like you have to have a friend group that does it. But I think really the key there is make time. Make it a thing that you have planned and stick to the plan is the best way to put that. You know, I say to myself, okay, Saturday I'm hobbying. And then this Saturday, Philip happened to be like, hey, you know, you want to hobby this weekend? And I don't know if maybe he heard me say that on stream or if he was just thinking about it. And it was like, yes, I am going to hobby on Saturday. Come on down.
Yeah.
And that made it even better. But I was going to do it anyway. I had it on my plate that I'm hobbying on Saturday. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted to make progress on some of the things that I'm not excited about my towel for.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's basing. I'm never a big Oh, you know what I get to do today?
Base.
You know, base. I get to put rocks and texture on models. Great. You know, because I'm like, I want to paint. You know, I'm here to paint. And so that is usually what I'm trying to do. But I said, you know, this Saturday is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do some of the things that maybe aren't the things that I'm super stoked for, but that have to get done. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
true.
they bog you down when you don't do them, and they bog you down in ways that are much worse than just planning to do it. But like I said, take a day, plan it, then go do the thing. Hold yourself to it. Don't back out and be like, you know, well, maybe next weekend. Because we're just like you guys. We have the same familial obligations and things we need to be doing.
That's how it goes, right?
And we get the same feeling, you know, like, do I really want to do that today? I could just sit here in my underwear and play video games, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not going to get the army done. And so being honest with yourself and saying, hey, you know, I really do want to see this army done. I was telling Chris today, I've really got a wild hair about these Tau.
Sure.
Now, I had a wild hair about my Blood Angels too, but with the Tau, it feels a lot different because this color scheme that I've made is super attainable. Mm-hmm. We can get this done and have an entire army painted for the first time in years that we've finished an army. And I'm super stoked about that. I'm stoked to do it with stream. I'm stoked to see the final job be done. And that's going to be fun. So.
Yeah. Textway says, are there any paint colors that you've created in testing but haven't released yet to date?
Yeah.
If so, can you share any details knowing the process you go through when creating and testing new paints? Would be really interesting to know.
Well, that's a lot baked into a question. So, yes, there are paints that get developed that do not see the light of day. Why? Sometimes they wind up being too close to other paints we already have.
So it's kind of redundant.
And it feels redundant, even though they're not exactly the same. When you paint with them, they feel too similar. And so I typically don't want that to happen. I want there to be a need for every color. There are some redundancies in our line anyway that I'm always looking at as, okay, you know, I see you colors and you may not be around forever, you know, because I might be like, yeah, I might take some of the colors out. But sometimes it's just because we make too many color ideas, and a set in our world can only really be 9 to 12 colors, 9 or 12, not 9 to 12. We release our sets in either 9 or 12.
Yeah.
And don't ask why, it's the dumbest reason ever. There's really no reason for it other than that's what the original boxes were capable of holding. And the way they went together. And so that's what we did. And that was a packaging thing, but it stuck. And so all of our sets since have either been 9 or 12 or with the signature series 6. And so sometimes we develop more colors than that, and it'll be a deal where it's like, oh, you know, so I need to hold this one back until the next release when I can have, you know, have it fit inside of a set numerics wise, number wise. Now, as far as the process is what colors do I like and what colors do I think we need in the line to make it better.
That's
and then
how
I get
you choose
going
them
and start coming up with colors and working with the lab to say, you know, hey, I need, you know, I need this. Here's the way I made this color. I like it. Let's get it done.
Skillsy says, are there any painters you really want to collab with to create a new set?
No. I know that's not the answer everybody wants to hear, but no. I'm kind of over the signature series stuff.
Right.
So we've talked about it. I'm kind of not doing it anymore. Our competitors started doing it. It took the fun away from it because it became the first time I had a conversation with an artist, and this is just being really honest with you guys. This is probably a podcast style question that people will ask me a lot is about this. And the first conversation that I got into with an artist where they were like, hey, so-and-so's offering me this, what can you do? And I was like, nothing. You should go with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in this. I didn't do the signature series to be Nike versus Adidas, right? The signature series was always to have our company leverage our community to help artists and vice versa, and to keep people who make cool content in the habit of making cool content. And I still firmly believe in that with the artists that we have supported so far and that have supported us. But it keeps me from wanting to go out and do more, as what I call the influencer economy gets more and more stagnant, in my opinion. You start running into those things where it's more and more about, hey, what have you done for me lately? And that's not the way Monument does business. So It makes it tough because it's funny to say we do what we think is cool, but that's what we do. And we do it in a way that feels cool to us as well. And so we like to partner with people that feel cool and that the outcome benefits both parties or all parties involved, be it as it may.
Ace says, are you going to do a pre-release for One Step Set number 2 like you did with number 1?
It will be a minor version of that at Gen Con if all goes right. The goal is to have set 2 at Gen Con,
right,
and then be releasing it to the wider public 2 weeks later. So it really just gives us time to get back from Gen Con, get everything restocked, get every production run while we're at the show, and then be ready to ship. There will be pre-release for retailers, though. Every paint we sell is the Pink Plaid starter set.
There you go.
It's just a build your own. That's what we do. Do you make a color because the project you're doing uses it a lot? Sometimes I'll be doing a project like this, and there'll be a color that we mix a lot to do it that I'm having a lot of fun with. And if I'm using it, and enough people on the stream are like, "Oh, why don't you make that color?" The best example is the color everybody's going to go #win is Eclectic Salmon.
Sure.
And Eclectic Salmon is coming in expansion set 5 if we ever get around to making it, right? Yeah, exactly. Danger Boy goes cough salmon. So there are colors out there that we have made when I was doing my Blood Angels. This is it. And I keep a bottle of it here. It's still ready to go. And that will get made into a color in the line.
Pink trout.
And that's the kind of thing that happens because of the live show. We've had a lot of that, but because I'm the guy coming up with the colors, a lot of it comes from what I use a lot, where I see holes in the line. If there's things that I'm always mixing, then I probably need to make a color. Payne's Gray and White Blue 50-50 needs to be a color because it's not as blue as Gray Blue. I need a blue gray, right? I need a bright Payne's Gray. And so there will be a bright Payne's Gray coming out because I use it, right? You could go that way. You could go Payne's Gray, this color, white, blue, and do your Wish.com non-metallic metal all day long for steel, just without having to mix. So that one will be coming because it's a thing for me. I'm greedy too. I'm like, I would like that because I hate mixing that color all the time, and I mix it all the time. So something like that needs to happen. So yeah, that's a lot of how it works. I think that any artist would tell you the same thing. Yeah, it all comes from what I use a lot and what I find a lot of benefit from, but it also comes with talking with other artists and what they use and why they benefit from it. I always use dark blue instead of Payne's Gray, and I would just mix in transparent black with it if I needed a Payne's Gray. Talking with Vince was like, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And that's why we have Payne's Gray. It's not because, and we always knew Payne's Gray. People had asked for Payne's Gray for years. And I'm like, yeah, but you can get better chromatic blacks and have your own freedom to make it what you want, as opposed to me telling you what Payne's Gray looks like. But we finally caved, and it's one of our most used colors and one of our biggest sellers and all that stuff. So, that's always going to be the way that it is. Any plans or talks about doing some effect paints like some competitors have? Example, a good blood or like vomit. So we have blood, and the dark crimson is a great blood color.
And it's also gloss too.
Yeah, remember that we don't call our products by things like that because I don't ever want to lock people into just doing that. Bone is a weird one, but bone is the actual color. And some of them also go into what they are. Khaki, technically, but it's, khakis for pants. But bone is one of the aberrations. But the dark crimson is a great blood because it's also gloss, and that's what its goal was to be a great filter for like facial and where you need flush colors, but also to just be that. Same with the petroleum brown is gloss and is a great oil stain color, right? It works fantastic for dirty oil stains. So yeah, the butt set terracotta is a great color too. A couple of the wizard's butt colors will make it to the real line. The yellow, the cooler greenish yellow, will make it to the real line. It's a fantastic yellow. That's right now maybe the only one. The terracotta one may, it's like a desaturated burnt sienna.
You did, Jason. One of those is coming out in another set though. One of those wizard's butt colors you talked about.
I mean, that's what we're talking about now, but there isn't already a plan for it.
Yeah. You personally, you were like...
He's trying to bait me on something.
No,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. You announced a set coming out that features one of those colors. Back in, I don't know, say April, you were mentioning those?
I wasn't here. See? That's what he's trying to do.
It was a long dig, but we got there.
We didn't get there because you're still lying to them. You're still lying to them.
I didn't lie.
I was not here.
When glazing with an airbrush, is it just a question of you really watering down or thinning the paint?
Yes, and let me show you. That's what we're doing next.
I have to
Great
use the
question.
restroom.
It was almost like we paid that person to ask that question right now.
Great segue, because I need to be...
Well,
you gotta stay hydrated.
What?
You gotta stay hydrated.
He yelled at me before the stream asking me if I needed to use the restroom. And I said, I might later. And he was like, that's not how we do it. You use it before. What? What?
Did you use the restroom?
What is happening here? What in the world is happening here? Paid freaking professional, chat. All right, now we can talk about him. Did you see he cut his beard off and looks like a porn star now? Did you see that? Zen Ronin, yeah, we're putting the filter because realize that this color for this army, this is what we're painting. All this that you see in the background, this is what we're painting, and this is how we get there, right? So believe it or not, this is about to change. This is about to change into this. Well, not, you get my drift, right? So yeah, I will be doing a filter of our one-step blue-black, believe it or not. Blue-black over this purple, this royal purple and pale yellow yields this. So you are about to see the magic occur. And I will talk to you through it as we do so. You thought Chris was supposed to be a good producer? He gave himself a C+, so you go figure. In my world, a C is not a passing grade. I came from a world where if I got less than a B, or if I got less than an A-, I had to explain it. I had to explain away my B's to my parents. So, what's the ratio for salmon again, or is it posted somewhere? It is, right now, it's orange-red and warm flesh at about, I would say about 75 orange-red to 25 warm flesh. So 3-to-1 red to warm flesh. Remember how I built it was pyro red, orange, and warm flesh. But now we have orange red, and so you can just use orange red instead. In your world, 2/3 of people get a C regardless of how well they do. Welcome to the mediocrity of the modern centuries. How would you recommend doing this stage without an airbrush? One Wolf, you could do it with a brush with the one-step because the one-step colors act like a wash already. If you were using an opaque color, you would want to use our glaze wash medium to give them that consistency. Then you would filter them down with water in order to get them fluid enough to give you the opacity and the flow that you wanted. So you'd have to turn them into a glaze. Here, the one-step paints act as a filter already, right? So when we take the dark blue black, we'll just mix it with straight up water, 50-50, and call it a day. I'll probably be more aggressive than that. And I think I put some one-step medium in it too. I don't remember why, but
Yeah.
yeah. Orange Boshek, orange red warm flesh 3-1, and see how you like that. Polygon, right? Right?
What are you talking about? You talking about me? What are you talking about there?
I asked him. I said, "Did anybody else realize that Chris put on his best porn star look?
What? What are you talking about?
You shaved your beard.
I did.
This is the 70s, 80s porn star look. Is exactly.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it.
I had to exfoliate my face.
He washes his hands. Chris is a very clean individual.
I am very clean. That's why I shaved. I hadn't shaved. I hadn't gotten down to the base layer.
Speaking of which, you should go join Base Layer if you haven't.
Yeah, but no, I will shave every once in a while to get the old hair off and then regrow it. Isn't that right, Jason?
I have not.
Plus, I was starting to eat my mustache, so that's when it's getting too long.
When you can do this all the time.
Yeah.
And you have hair in your mouth. Yeah, you got to trim that back.
So I had to trim it. And I've been on my
where's he going for? He has the Magnum PI look. Yes, he drives. He's got his old Ferrari is out front.
Yeah, I've kind of got like a fat Omni Man look going on right now. So
fat Omni Man. It is the Omni Man stash, actually.
A little bit.
I've got
my
tone.
chubby Viltrumite phase going on right now.
You have to have a very commanding tone to be a Viltrumite.
500 years, Mark.
Yeah. Chris wears short shorts 100% all the time. He's like running shorts. It's very awkward.
No, it's not.
Very awkward. Every now and then he comes to work with the swimsuit that just has the netting in it, and it's really awkward because he likes to come up and like put his foot up on a chair and talk to you. It's
hey, how you doing?
Horrible.
Let that waft over there. No,
we've had to have some HR conversations.
I do have the same pair.
I'm not supposed to talk about that, but
I do have.
It's after hours.
10. What? I do have 10 pairs of the same shorts.
Hey, you're like me. If I find something that works, buy all of it.
That's it.
Just if any colors that I like, get it, run with it, make it happen.
And they can match with any shirt I have.
I'm gonna mix too much so you can see. That was 12 drops. I don't know.
Ooh, Wad, you shaved your beard? Not totally, but trimmed it. Hey, I need to see that. Oh, where's my...
One Wolf, thanks. That's what I do for you.
What do you do?
So we're going to double it up with one-step medium. So kind of double the amount of fluid in there by eye. You know, I'm always guessing.
There's never actual...
we don't math here. That's not a thing.
Skooshly?
It's a skosh.
It's a
sploosh.
A sklashy.
And then because I want to get more opacity run down, I'm going to give it a little bit of water. So call that 1 to 1 to 1. And you'd probably be close. And then I'm going to test the opacity before we spray it because I've gotten pretty good at understanding what it needs to look like. We'll mix that up. Remember, when you mix, always use the butt of the brush, not the business end. And then test like that. Oh, that's pretty good right out the gates. Look at me.
Yeah,
I did a good job.
I mean, that's pretty cool, man.
I did a good job. It's almost like I've done this enough to know what I'm doing. So the question about filtering or glazing with an airbrush does start, number one, with thinning the paint down, and you're going to want to err on the side of too much thinning, as I always say, because too much thinning, the only problem it will have is it won't apply enough color on the model. Now, if you thin too much with water, it can start to run weird on the model if you aren't real confident in your airbrush skills. But I'm going to have to assume that you know how to work an airbrush with very low viscosity paints in it anyway. Because the more you thin your paint for opacity, usually the lower viscosity it goes. You can use like our glaze wash medium, and it keeps it thicker like paint, and that can lower the opacity while making it not be super runny. And if you like that, great. But with the special sauce in the water, it is very watery, right? You can see that's just sloshing around.
It's very, what's the word? Viscous?
Low viscosity.
Low
viscosity.
It
is not viscous.
It is not. Sorry, I always get that mixed up. So it's not viscous.
Viscous. The most viscous thing on the planet is pitch.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, pitch is the highest viscosity, and the lowest viscosity is, I don't know if it's mercury or if there's another substance.
And it's based off
something
of
like that.
The weight of it?
No, it's just how it flows.
Oh, how it flows. That's
how it
what
flows.
it is. Where can we all go vote? Says, Ghost Hunter says, I just submitted a picture of Chris to a Ned Flanders lookalike contest.
Can you pop in close? Right, and so then when I'm filtering, I want to be in about 2 or 3 inches. I'm spraying most of the time at about 2 or 3 inches, about like that.
Yeah.
That's where my comfort zone is for applying color. Closer for details, further away for crazy blends or things where I'm feathering. I'll go further away so paint spreads further, because the paint is applied in a cone. So the closer it is, the narrower the cone becomes, and the further away it is, the wider the cone gets, right? So out here it's like this, and here it's like this. It's probably out here like this, actually. It's not like that, but it's out here like this, and then it's super tight in. So the closer in, the more you can get paint into a small spot. The further out, the broader of a circle it'll make, right? So for me, about 2 or 3 inches, and then I'm just going to start spraying. Go to town. One cool coverage coat is all you need.
For a second, I thought as you were going back and forth, some of that paint was going to come out of that little cup there.
Oh, yeah.
You got me high stress. I'm like, careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Supposedly, the fluid in your joints is one of the least viscous, if memory serves. Interesting.
That I do not know. I have never heard that.
Jason and I both are doctors on paper.
I stayed in Holiday Inn Express one time. That has to come from something, right?
Jez says, are all the Pro Acryls paints satin? The ones I used are.
Nope, they're all matte. They're all very matte.
Some of the
one of the claims to fame that we have is that our colors are ultra matte finish.
Yeah.
So if you had satin paints, they either weren't shaken up enough, they were applied in a way that was so thin that it broke the matte, because as you take matte paints and thin them down very far, you will wind up with satin colors.
Well, and some of our signature artists also have satin, but those are still pretty matte compared to the normal satin, right?
They're like
Jason?
everybody else's matte paints.
Yeah, that's the...
And then we have some gloss ones. So you will have, like we were talking about, dark crimson, and a couple other colors will be gloss. And I'll just go in here and get the coloring right, how I see fit. But I get a good purple contrast in the shadows, and then of course all my highlight comes through up on top.
Now, this guy's going to be a good example of the Tau skin, right?
Yeah, that's all he is, pretty much. Yeah. He's showing off his guns.
I didn't even know this was a model. Very interesting.
And then same thing here. I think I have a little bit of dirty tip from my other spray. I'm going to just clear the tip.
Jemsy says, I used them through my airbrush and it came out like a satin finish.
You probably thinned it too much. Because as you can see, there's no, close, there's no satin here, and this is all through the airbrush. But I didn't thin it very much. The more you thin matte paints down, the more satin they become. The matte is the first thing to break. Not in a wrong manner, but it's the first thing that will start to go away.
Isaac Schaefer says, isn't AMP more satiny?
A little bit, yep. The AMP colors are a little less matte, but not so much that you would feel like they were satin.
Or to even label them that way.
Yeah, we don't even label them that way. They're just not as matte as the normal colors.
Otherwise, it'd be deceiving if we were to do that. Because then you'd expect, why isn't this satin? Right?
Yeah, they feel more like, again, like I said, like our competitor's version of matte.
Yeah, Jem says, I think it is one of the AMP sets. Yeah, you're probably experiencing that.
What color was it, did they say?
Yeah, Jem's, which color are you in particular talking about? Jason can probably speak more to it.
Yeah, because with the AMP colors, they already start out a little bit more, so if you're thinning them through the airbrush, then they're going to show more glossiness quicker. But you just matte varnish over the top.
Firebrush, sorry if I missed it, but out of curiosity, what are your best-selling paints besides your set from Sent from Heaven, Heavy Titanium, White, and Black?
Oh, Jade, Pyro Red, Payne's Gray, Royal Purple, Dark Purple.
Sure. That's a tough question to know right off the bat.
No, not really. I mean, those are
right?
those are the top sellers. That's the way it is. And then there's always random ones that happen when somebody shoots a video on YouTube and talks about a color they use all the time. If it's a well-known artist, then they'll, have something that they love, and then we'll see, like, why is this all of a sudden a run on pink?
Why did we sell so many dark green browns?
Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm just going through trying to get a good one-over coat on everything, and then I'll come back and start focusing into shadow areas a little bit more.
Jason, did you see the thing that I gave you up there? Your little button pad?
Yeah.
I also put a filter thing on it for you.
If
you ever want to do that. The black and white filter.
Oh, nice.
So you can kind of see that. The volume thing.
That's great. Look at you.
The volumes on this, because somebody was asking about, like, are you going to do, like, this looks like a monochromatic volume. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it almost looks like you're just building in volumes with some of these colors.
100%. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we are also looking for the chromatic of it because we're trying to get a chromatic black-ish, right? So, when we're done and we highlight, this is the goal. Yeah. Right? And so in order to get there, we're utilizing the royal purple because it gives us a nice cooler shadow. And the pale yellow because the pale yellow is what allows the dark blue black to give us this chromatic green at the end of the day.
Somebody was saying earlier that how they couldn't see the green, but it is definitely green.
Yeah, that's probably your monitor not really showing you a good color. Because it definitely has a pronounced green effect, although very, very desaturated. So if you have even a little bit of red-green color blindness, that could be also adding into it.
That's a good point.
Right? There are a lot of people that have a smidge of red-green color blindness, and this is the kind of green that in that world you'll be like, no, it's not. It's just black or gray. This will appear gray. But it is very green, just maybe not the kind of green that you would normally say, hey, that's pretty green. And you may not see that here.
Well,
this guy's given us a really, really good amount of purple in the shadows, so this was a really nice one.
Bilal says, I do have a slight blue-green color blindness.
See, this one, when we do the black and white filter that he's talking about, then you can see, yes, it just gives us that slight highlight on everything that makes it not overly metallic, but then you can see on this one what happens once we do all of the final highlights.
Yep.
That's great, Chris. That helps a lot.
Yep. Sindhu, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We're painting up some Tau today.
We're painting in black and white, so I can't tell what I'm doing.
Jason makes this look so easy and effortless. Sigavax, you stay around long enough and do what Jason does.
I was going to say, I'm not really doing anything you can't do. These models, and one of the greatest things about this whole army is that, popping close, that this is something that is very low intensity.
Very achievable.
And very, very achievable. That's one of the things that I love about it. It's one of the things that's got me the most hyped to finish it, is just because it is so simple. It really is. When you can take something like an undercoat, a filter on top, and then a couple of quick highlights. Now, the most complicated thing is the thing we're about to do after we finish this filter real quick, right? And that's to put some airbrush highlights over this model.
Some like spot highlights?
Yeah, I do spot highlights because the Tau are all big monstrous creatures, right? Like even this Ghost Keel is what I consider to be a bigger model, right? It's bigger than a Dreadnought. Anything bigger than a Dreadnought, I feel like you need to give more attention to as far as, overall highlighting and detailing, because you just have so much space that you're dealing with. So we will go back over this in a second.
The smaller models, what were those, Jason? Somebody was asking?
Pathfinders.
Pathfinders.
Tau Fire Warriors. Pathfinders. Strike Team. They come in all sorts of flavors.
Send out thanks again for that raid. We really appreciate it.
Welcome, everybody.
JK Model says, how many drops of paint should I put on my dry palette to avoid it drying out fast?
1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3.
We,
literally, I'm always a fan of less paint more often, right? Is the key to success on any palette.
Yeah.
Because acrylics dry all the time. As soon as they hit the palette, they're drying. And so, unlike oils and other solvents that take a lot longer to evaporate, water starts evaporating as soon as it touches air. Yeah. And so as soon as you put that paint out on your palette, it's going. And so to avoid issues with it, less paint. And, get out however much you can use in the time that it still feels like you're not wasting it.
Yeah.
And you'll adjust for yourself. Because I don't know how fast you paint, right? Some people paint really fast. Some people paint really slow. I paint kind of in between. And for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to put out one big drop. And big is based on, what I'm painting and what size brush I'm doing. Am I base coating or am I doing highlights? Am I mixing? That kind of stuff. Right? That feels pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
And then this guy was easier because he's smaller, right? So I got to the depth I wanted on him with like one pass. And then the big guy needs more. We'll clean the
Pikmin, what's going on?
airbrush out real quick. Oh, I can dump this. Oh, I don't need to.
Yes, Raiders, we're painting up some Tau. If you don't know who we are, we're Monument Hobbies.
Hi!
We're hanging out, painting some Tau. I'm Christopher. That's Jason.
We make pro acryl.
That's right. You can go see all of that fancy stuff over here.
The thing that sets us apart, besides making better paint, is that we're here every day so that you can come see it in use, ask questions, but don't feel like you have to ask questions just about our product. We're here to help you feel more comfortable with your painting, no matter what it is you're painting or how you're painting.
Yeah.
So generally, we can answer any question. I may not be able to demo every question out due to what we're doing and how I can stop and what kind of timing it'll take, but we will always point you in the right direction and give you as best an answer as we possibly can to get you feeling good about getting over that hobby hurdle, so to speak.
That's right.
There's a lot in this hobby that can bog you down, whether it's your own brain sometimes, analysis paralysis on picking colors, whatever.
We talk about artist block a lot.
So, yeah, it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Stan
Even
says,
for us.
I know this is a big-headed thing to say. Okay. But I'm painting a model and I'm doing more glazing than I've ever done.
Awesome.
And I can safely say I think I've cracked glazing.
Fantastic, man. Why is that a big-headed thing?
That's huge.
There is no such thing as ego baked into simple success.
Right.
Right? You will know because people will look at you funny when it's ego.
Yeah.
You succeeding is great.
What's wrong
We're here
with that?
for it. So thank you for sharing. That's always great. The light bulb moments are what we're here for because the hobby really becomes more and more interesting the more and more you evolve. The more and more you figure out, the more and more you feel comfortable doing, the better and better it gets. So never feel bad about bragging that you just hit one of those level ups. I think that's great. Okay, so the highlight color, let's talk a little bit about what we've done. So we had royal purple on, right, as a shadow color.
Yeah.
Then I went over the top of royal purple with a little bit of a diluted pale yellow. I dilute the brighter colors like this mainly so that you don't worry about any kind of spottiness because they create the most contrast on the model when you put a bright color over a dark color. So thinning that makes it spray smoother. So you're thinning for smooth spray with this one, not for necessarily for opacity. Obviously, diluting it too much will lower its opacity, but you just do a couple of coats with it. But the idea there for thinning is so that you get an overall opaque coat, but it goes on smooth, and you don't get that spottiness that if you do your zenithal highlights or your pre-shading with, if you get that spottiness, it might show through your top coats, and you don't want that in most cases. Hang on. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Excuse me. You saw that one coming from a mile away. Okay, so with a pale yellow top coat over the purple's kind of irrelevant for us from now on because it just was the shadow. We don't care. We don't have to mix it with anything anymore.
Right.
It's going to be on there and stay great. But now for highlights, the color that we have the models turning into right now is all because of the interaction with the dark blue black one step, this one, and the pale yellow. That's why we get this green. Okay? That's what happens when you mix these two colors together. So for a highlight, what I want to do is I want to make this color, but I want to make a brighter version of it. So the one great thing about our one-step paint is that we just simply do this. I'm going to put some pale yellow in here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the dark blue black, the same way I had it thinned for spraying. I'm just going to add a little bit of that in here, and you can see there's a lot of math going on.
A lot of math.
A lot of math, right? And then I'm just going to mix this until I'm happy with it as a highlight color. It's really that simple. Our one-step colors mix perfectly with all of our normal paints. And I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put a little bit more of the yellow in there.
Can you remind me in particular, how much did you just do water with that yellow?
I put some special sauce in there.
Okay, with special sauce.
Much less water and much more special sauce.
Gotcha, okay.
The special sauce has become my airbrush medium of record. Like, if anybody asks me now, it used to be our glaze wash medium. Now it's special sauce.
Dude, you could just...
Because it's lower viscosity. So it handles the action of opacity and water all at once. With glaze wash medium, I put glaze wash to do the flow improver side of what glaze wash does.
Yeah.
And then I had to add water to lower the viscosity so it would flow better. With this, you can literally just use special sauce because it's already thin. It's already low viscosity anyway.
It's almost...
And there you go. Boom.
You could put that... with anything, really.
Yeah, 100%. So now I use it with everything. Opaque paints, whatever. This is kind of my go-to airbrush filter. And then we'll just put that in the brush. I usually don't dump it all in the brush. I'll leave some to mix with just in case I need to brighten it up or something like that.
Yep. I'll pop in here.
And this guy is lit from his left shoulder, right? And he's got armor on his chest. So I'm just going to get in here.
We're doing great. Thank you, Buns and Cabbage. We are doing great.
I'm just going to get a highlight built up like on the crest behind his head here a little bit. I don't know if I'll keep the fin on his back this color, but I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it anyway. That, and then again, getting in about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch away from the model and just doing a little bit of pulsing so I can get some brightness thrown out on that. He's got this little towel symbol on his belt, so let's get in really close there and just do a little pin prick highlight on that symbol on his belt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most complicated thing that I'm doing on this model is that highlight right there. And that's something you can determine whether or not you want to be doing that or not. I'm going to go ahead and do the shaft of this staff that he's got here just in case I choose to leave it this color.
Right.
And that's really all I need to do. Maybe a little bit on this shoulder.
Zen's asking, are there any general activities or exercises you would recommend for someone to get better with an airbrush?
Yes.
I would like to use it more than just priming.
Yeah, 100%. The kind of stuff that I'm doing here, I'm going to grab the paper towel, and it's not going to work because I'm painting a very light color. But, you know, being able to get in and okay, so when you start priming, the biggest thing is even flow of paint and coverage. So you're going to want to get good at being, you know, a few inches away and just being able to fill in. So, you know, imagine going in and painting a square on a surface and then going back about 4 inches and getting good at keeping all of your paint inside the square with no spray outside the edges and as even inside that square as possible so you can't see where your brushstroke was. And if you can practice that to where it's not fuzzy on the outside, again, on a white paper towel, this light color is not the best thing, but get a piece of black construction paper or whatever, and do things like this, and then make it smaller and smaller, right? So you get in and do it here, right? And now you're going back 3 or 4 inches, and you want to do that same thing here without getting overspray and make it even. Practice that so that you don't get too fuzzy on the outside so that you can't see, because if you do it wrong, right, if we have a square here, and I'll make it big enough so you can see, right? If you go in and you just kind of do the regular thing where you might get it to where it's uneven like that. So it's darker in the middle or brighter on the sides, or God forbid you can see the way you've done the spray and you see the letter S there. You know, try to get to where you don't have any of that, to where you just have a nice smooth coverage. You can see I'm a little bright down on the bottom there, right? So get to where you can do that to where you have very even, no coverage like this, to where it looks like, you know, I can tell that I was moving the airbrush like that, right? So practice that. That's great for just your overall coating. Once you can get that and that feels great, then you're good. You can now paint any model with a base coat, prime, whatever you want, and it'll always look good. Getting used to the air on, paint off, air off, right? That thing I do the video on, which is, you know, down, back, forward, up, so that you don't get spatter, is always huge. I always start off to the side, so you can't see it here, but I'm spraying the model, and then I come over to the side, and I'm doing this, just pumping it a couple of times to put paint off to the side, you know, to make sure that the nozzle is clear. Oh, I'm already done with all my paint. Oops, I'm ruining my mix here by teaching with my mix, so I got to be a little careful. But and then doing line work, getting in there and practicing doing small areas is always huge. Being able to get in close and as you're going to see, can you pop in close?
Yeah.
You know, being able to get in close and say, okay, I want to get the top of this arm, right? So I'm going to go through and kind of do a line on the top of the arm there that doesn't extend too far, so that way I have that. And then be able to kind of pulse in where I want the brightness to be and then pull back to get other areas. You're going to start figuring out how to work in tight and then where to pull back to kind of feather. And sometimes that'll happen live on the model. You'll see me do like that to where I'll get in close, mark it, and then pull out. Things like that are key. But there's a lot of complicated, you know, more complicated scenarios where you're going to have to learn to, like, you know, flick the wrist in various directions from a center spot. So you're always brightening up the center, but then being able to go out from that. You know, I could sit here all day and give you new ways to paint.
Sweet. I think that definitely answers your question there. Bunions and Cabbage has got a good question, Jason. Completely off topic, but do you have any tips for someone teaching their first painting class? I'm teaching a basics class at my city's rec center and want to make sure I'm prepared.
Number one, that's freaking awesome.
I was just about to say, that's super cool, man.
What kind of tips are you looking for? Because I think the biggest thing is make it accessible.
Yep.
Meaning don't, you know, do the basics. As much as it might be frustrating as a painter to sit on, you know, here's how you keep the paint in the lines. That's what's going to really click for people the most.
Yeah.
That'll make it, you know, more people will feel like it was worth their time if that's how you treat it, right? And if you have people there that are more advanced, that are trying to, you know, find something fun on a weekend, you can't build to them. Build to the lowest common denominator, not the people who already know what you're talking about.
Right.
That's the big thing.
Call me Molden. Thank you so much for that 1-year sub. You're the best. Bunions and Cabbage says, love that. I'll run with it.
Yeah, that's really the best thing I can tell you, right? Keep it easy, keep it learnable, keep it light bulb moment, and read the crowd. Be able to tell if you need to shift to more complicated stuff because you've got a crowd of people that show up. Because even though it might be like, hey, learn to paint miniatures, come paint your first miniature, you may get a bunch of pros, you know, or not pros, but you might get a bunch of people that hang out at the comic book shops and already know a lot about miniature painting. And at that point in time, you might need to be ready to kind of swivel over to more complicated things if your crowd is not all basic. So when I say build to the least common denominator, a lot of that has to do with being able to read the crowd and know what the least common denominator is for the group in front of you. I do that all the time. Well, I say all the time. When I teach, which I don't do a whole lot anymore, other than on here. You know, it's being able to ask questions. How's this working for everybody? Everybody getting it? And if you see everybody raising their hand and being bored, then move on to something more complex. Say, okay, it seems like everybody's really good, so let's go on to something more complex and stop me if, you know, if it feels like it's getting out of your wheelhouse, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So see, I'm just doing some spot highlights here. I got to let my initial work on the highlights and what shows through the zenithal guide me here. I can't be too aggressive.
Right.
With highlights. I guess all the rest of this would be the black. So I'm really just...
Sigavac says, watched an established YouTuber review PA this week. Didn't agree with his take, but it really showed how much creators/brands try to gatekeep and dictate exactly how to hobby. It made me realize how refreshing your approach is here. You give incredible advice, but always remind us there's no one size fits all. Truly appreciate the community you've built. By the way, they've gotten absolutely bombed in the comments. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but
Yeah, I don't know it. I'd love to know the video.
yeah, we Jason keeps it pretty. We keep it pretty, like, just put paint on the model and give us a try. You know, one size doesn't fit all, right, Jason?
Yeah. Who was it?
Yeah. Phelan. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Must not be that important.
Ribble says, first time chat, welcome, man. Did you mention when the special sauce will be back in stock online?
Oh, is it not?
Did it?
If it isn't, I would think soon. But I'm not always the best at that. I know that because of the demand, we ran out of bottles.
Did we? Yeah.
But they should be back in stock this week. And if that's the case still, then it would be very soon. I know that might not be the best answer, but that's kind of where we're at.
It is very soon, though.
And I feel like that's pretty good. Back on the review thing, thank you so much. You know,
yes.
it really is like you were saying, for us, it's not about brands and brand loyalty. That's all great. That's commerce. Painting is not commerce. Selling paints is commerce, but painting is art. And in art, the right tool is the one that you feel good about getting the job done with. And I'm never going to tell you that the job you're doing is right or wrong. You know,
Yep.
I might have a different take from the way you're doing something that might help you understand something differently, better, you know, whatever. But that's all I would ever say. You know, as far as the paints people use, you'll notice that here, the only time we really try to bring up Pro Acryl is if I'm doing something specific with a new product, like say One Step, or if somebody asks us in chat, like, hey, how do I do this with your blue gray or whatever color it is you're using? Most of what I'm trying to show you is baked around actual painting techniques, more so than any one product. And I want to make sure everybody understands that. When I'm showing you how to do the things that I'm doing, it is never really, I will let you know if it's something that you have to be wary of being just a Pro Acryl thing, right? Like if what I'm doing is something that I don't know how this is going to work with other paints, then, you know, I will hopefully let you know that.
Right. Okay, so it looks like there's a common thing here. Okay. One of the complaints was it too thin after putting it on a wet palette. But to be fair, the dude's okay, so sounds like he was using way too much water on his wet palette.
Yeah, that's not a thing
which
anyway.
Is a little counteractive to our paints, which is also not very wise to do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into it, right?
Yeah.
Because the reality is that, you know, hobby paints are too thick, and that's why we made Pro Acryl different. It always baffles me that everybody wishes we were just like all the other hobby paints they have. And I'm like, well, wait, like we made something new and really different. Not the same Me Too product you already had, because you already have that product. Why, if you love the way those other products work, why would I make something just like that?
Yeah, that's true. Little Billy says, Jason, real question, also a Chris insult. Nice, I love the combo. How would you go about doing rusty steel non-metallic metal? I really want to recreate what Chris's joints look like since he's an old man.
Wow. It's a lot to take in right there.
That was let's have a moment of silence for my
joints.
age.
Your joints. Your rusty joints, Chris.
My rusty joints.
Your damn rusty joints.
How do you do non-metallic rusty metal?
Okay, do you want low effort or do you want high effort?
If it's Little Billy, I'm
probably
assuming it's low effort.
I knew he was going there, Little Billy. I want to have it said for the record that I only said that because I knew it was coming. I wanted to help prep you for what you knew was coming already. Little boy.
Schloopa. Schlank.
So the
Low,
easy
please.
answer is to do your steel non-metallic. And I want to go back because there was a question that was asked earlier that I don't know if we got to that was talking about OSL.
Yes.
And I apologize because Chris is a C+ producer.
Whoa.
And didn't get to that question.
Whoa. What?
But I remember seeing it.
No.
And this was a test and you failed.
Oh, no.
But so the OSL question follows in with what you're asking about non-metallic metal because they both have an effect. So the OSL was asked about like moonlight. And the question for the OSL was, would you paint the model like it was in daylight and then go back and add the OSL for the moonlight?
Where was that question?
It was like a
What?
long time ago.
No.
Yeah, you missed it. It was a long
I
time
would
ago.
have said that one.
Nope, you didn't.
I see.
Raise your hand if you asked that question. I hope you're still here.
Yes.
But so the question was, if you were doing OSL, would you paint the model as if it was in daylight? Now, they specifically asked if I would do it as in daylight and then add the moonlight over it. The answer to that one is no. I would typically paint the model as if it were in a... It depends. I guess let's back up. Is the light source for the moon the only light source in the scene? Or is it dueling with like a candle flame and a lamp or something else? Because obviously you can't have daylight and moonlight at the same time. So the light that it's fighting with determines how I do this answer for you, right? The steel and rust question is similar in that I want to know what you want the overall effect to look like. If you want it to be heavy rust, then you could just start with your steel colors incorporating the rusty color into it. Oranges, burnt siennas, orange oxides, things like that. Otherwise, you could... Where do I have one that's like this? I was almost going to grab a model, but I don't know.
Are you talking about for non-metallic?
Yeah, but for
rusty?
Rusty non-metallic. I'm trying to remember what we have in here that I've done that on. Yeah. This guy have it?
Is he rusty? Kind of.
He does. He has a light rust on it. It's done at scale, so with a mech, it's going to be freaking huge.
I was just about to say.
Gazgul shows it for contrast. Right. So there's two ways here that are very similar. So on this Mad Cat, right? Timberwolf, for all the discerning Vatborn out there. You can see how I just did this with dark neutral gray, bright neutral gray. And I just layered the grays on real quick, dry brushed them on, whatever you got to do. This is wish.com non-metallic metal on here.
That's right.
And it's just done with neutral gray so that it has a good neutral base. It's just gray and black, right? And then what I do is I take like our burnt sienna is great for this. Thin it way down. Now you can use special sauce. We didn't have special sauce when we did this. Pop in super close.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can see just that little bit of orangey brown on spaces where it's almost like an oil leak and not rust. But it gives it that effect of having that brownish dirt feel in between the joints. So this could have been brown wash. I don't remember exactly what I used on it, but you can see a little bit of the brownish orange in there. Maybe it's flesh wash. Flesh wash is one of my favorites. And so you can see, you get that kind of haze. See right there, that haze of oranginess on the metal. So this works great. Very low impact, very easy to, and when I say thin it down, you want to thin, if this is flesh wash, you want to thin that flesh wash down to almost just water with a little color in it, and then build it up where you want to. And you'll layer it up, layer it up, layer it up, layer it up, because it then lets it be at the scale of this, because there's a dude in here that's like yay tall, right? So it lets it feel like rust without being in the junkyard. Now, if you want junkyard, then you can apply it more liberally. And that's what I've done here. Same workup, same neutral gray, dark neutral gray, bright neutral gray, but then taking that burnt sienna or flesh wash or whatever that reddish brown you want to do is, and dolloping it on there heavier, right? And now it builds up pools of color around rivets and lets it look like the rust is just soaking in there, right? It's sticking right where it needs to be, around the rivets, around the top of that piston there, around the piston ring here, all that. So that's also really good. Same way I did the verdigris on the copper thing here, right? just do it after the fact. So I typically will paint my non-metallic as if there isn't an effect, and then I will layer the effect over the top, because the effects we're generally trying to do, like rust and verdigris, are actually things that happen on the surface. They aren't part of the color. If you clean them off, it's back to the way it was. You can still polish this and have it look new, right? So when doing things like that, I like to paint them and then add it after. With the lighting question on the OSL, the issue is that I need to know how intense the other light is versus the moonlight. If you have a model that's like sitting in a cave, right, and only has a torch and then, you know, moonlight, then the torch is going to be brighter from the direction of the torch, and the moonlight will be overtaken and not really show from this direction. Yeah. But the rest of the colors, because the torchlight isn't going to be super bright and the moonlight's not going to be super bright, so all the other colors are very muddy. I'm not putting a lot of contrast on this model. I'm not putting a lot of brightness and vibrancy and saturation on this model, because there is not a light source that allows for that to happen, except like right up around the face. And even that's all jaundice yellow, because it's just yellow and orange flame. Same with the moonlight, right? Well, this is uplighting like from a pool, right? But you can get the same drift from it. Now all of my color is accented with that jadish moonlight color, right? But it's still away from the light, still all very desaturated, all very monochromatic, because you don't have a light source in this scene that makes sense to bring a lot of color onto the model. So if you're playing like this, then don't paint the model like it's in broad daylight, because it would give you more color to work with. Paint it very desaturated. Then make all of your saturation the color of light that you're using. That tells a better story. Because if I had this moonlight, and then over here you could tell that the jacket was bright green, and the pants were a vivid brown, and the steel on the legs was another color, it wouldn't make sense, because the moonlight isn't bright enough to allow you to see all that other color. So don't be afraid to paint in a very desaturated, muddy way, because the lighting is telling the story, right?
Valron says, I stayed up to say thank you for all your information you put out there for free. All the texture videos have really helped me, and I have challenged myself to only paint in black and white for a month. Also, I did want to get a mega set, but the EU store seems to not have it.
Oh, yeah, the EU store doesn't do the mega set.
Valoron, thank you.
We need to put it on there, though.
Yeah.
We can now. We've been lazy. So.
Okay.
I think we can. Oh. No, they don't have the bundle capability over there that we do. That's what it is. The mega set is a bundle of sets. So technically we could. We haven't done that yet. We haven't done it yet. But we could make it happen.
We appreciate that, though.
Hang tight. But thank you so much.
I'm glad you're getting the effort out of it.
That looks just like Chris's prosthetic.
You were talking about
which
Gazgul.
one, the Timberwolf or Gazgul?
How would you do this on Necrons?
Same way?
Same way.
Why would it be any different? I want to make sure that people really get out of their heads that models are different. Metal is metal is metal is metal. If you want metal to look rusty, I don't care what you're painting it on. I don't care if you're painting World War II models, medieval models, fantasy sci-fi models. I don't care. Paint every model with the technique. Yeah. Don't assume the model needs a different way of doing it, right? Necrons, same thing. You can change the metal to something else. Now, if you're going to do rust, the human brain expects rust to happen on ferrous metals, iron and steel and things like that. But in your fantasy world, it could be on whatever color metal you want. If you want to put rust on greenish metal, go for it. Who cares? It's up to you. Just realize that you will always be fighting the factor, because you're going to show this to humans, and humans do have a recognition outside of fantasy and sci-fi of the way reality works, and so you need to be playing by enough of the rules so that you don't absolutely throw your viewer for a loop, right? If you paint copper and you try to rust copper, people are not going to know what's going on, right? Yeah. If you paint gold and try to rust gold, people are not going to know what's going on, because it just doesn't fit. That is not how the world works. And that can be something that predisposes people to not like your painting. So I never want to say you have to play by the rules, but you got to know enough about the rules to know how and when to break them. And that's one of those situations. But if you're painting rusty metal of whatever space kind of color it is, then great, do it. And treat it the same way. Put the rust on after the fact, like I just showed you. Now, I just showed you ones that were done in gray, but you could do that in Payne's gray. You could do that in painted yellow Imperial Fist armor that's rusting through the cracks. You can do whatever you want. And use that same effect and technique of applying the rust after the fact. Same with verdigris, same with all of these effects, right? Just understand how to apply the effect, and then you're off and running. Copper doesn't rust green and turquoise. That's a different thing. That's an oxidation.
Break the rules, not the law. Oh!
I swear he always has the right thing. He goes, keep going.
No,
Keep going.
Somebody was also asking,
but I get what you meant with the rust. But I don't want to mix those words. They are different. Verdigris and rust are two totally different things. You don't want to say that copper rusts because words are powerful and meaningful. Don't mix them up, right? That's something that is just a Jasonism. You will get me when you come in, and Chris hears it every day. I'm like, that's not what that means. It's infuriating.
But it is. What was today? I don't even remember the word I was making fun of today. Somebody was asking earlier, Jason, up here, why do you put less paint in your airbrush at a time? And I said it really helps with clogs overall. Can you explain that more? Like why you put less paint? Because it dries up, like the top will dry
in the
up.
airbrush.
Yes.
Oh, in the airbrush.
Yeah. Why do you put less?
So the paint will start to cure as soon as it touches air. We talk about that, right? Acrylic paint starts to cure as soon as it touches air. Like you see, the paint is already drying where the pore stain is on the side here, right? That's no longer wet. That's dry. The paint in the cup is still wet, but the part that thinned out and touched the air is dry. So that'll happen on the airbrush, right? As you put paint in there and then you move the airbrush around, it'll start sloshing around the edges and be very thin and start drying. And that dry paint will then flake and go down into the airbrush and clog your nozzle. So you only want to put about enough paint to where it fills the hole down there. And the cup, treat the cup as just a funnel. Don't use the cup as a cup to put paint in. It's just a funnel to get the paint into the hole. And I only fill about enough to fill that hole. And then spray that out and then look at it. And if it has a bunch of dried paint around the edge of the hole there, then rinse it real quick. If it doesn't, put more paint in it and keep spraying. But when it has that dry paint around the edge, like if you were to fill it all the way up or halfway up even, then it's going to start drying around the edge of where the top of the liquid is as it starts going down, because it leaves a little bit of paint grabbing onto the surface as you spray it down to where it's coated all over. And all that dry paint can fall down and clog your brush. So you will get more of that dried paint capability the more you fill the cup. So by not filling it much, you're spraying most of it before it can do the drying part, and that makes it easier. So again, use less and fill more often. Same thing that we talk about on the palette. It's just smart use of acrylic paint, right? That's just a smart way to go. If we're painting with enamels or lacquers, with lacquer thinner and stuff, you could fill the whole thing until you put a gallon of it in the cup and then just spray. You can spray a whole car and just have like a pint of paint in the sprayer and just keep spraying and never really have a problem. But those heavier solvent paints work that way. With acrylic, you can't do that because it will dry and then it will clog your brush and you will have dried paint sitting in the nozzle and along the needle shaft, and that's not bueno. So.
Yes, and then somebody was asking a question, will you guys release gray brush-on primer? And I said, no.
We do.
Well, we do, but
it comes in a kit.
Yeah, okay.
It comes in a kit of black and white.
I just said that, too. As simple as it sounds, actually, I saw Louise do it, too, at not last year's Adepticon, the year before.
100%.
She's like, I need a gray brush-on, and she just made one.
100%.
But, yeah, we do that here. Justin's like, I know, but I'm lazy.
It would never be the gray anybody wants. That's the problem. I would have to make two, a dark and a light, and I won't do it. The brush-on primer is supposed to just be for speed and necessity where you have it. The rattle can has a black, a gray, and a white, so that when you're doing big stuff, because you can't mix there, and the airbrush gives you a gray too, because it's where you're doing more volume of painting. But when you're brush-on priming, my mind is that brush-on primer is really for that model when you're at a show or at your friend's house or the store, not to do a whole army with.
I did it on the...
That's why it comes in 22 mil bottles too, because you just can't feasibly do a whole army with it. But that was our thinking on it.
I used it on the cruise actually. I built, painted, and finished a model. But that brush-on primer...
I used it in Poland,
it's
and
awesome.
I had to mix them for gray to do my zenithal because I didn't have an airbrush. The Iwata guys were there, but I didn't want to walk out and bother them. But I just put a black base coat down, and then I mixed the black and the white, and I dry brushed that, and then the white dry brush over it. It was fantastic. I blew people's minds. People were like, oh. I was like, yeah, on small models, it is much better to do a gray pass with your
zenithal.
Your zenithal if you can, but most people don't find that helpful with an airbrush because the airbrush tends to cover the gray up with the white.
It's great. If you guys haven't used that, like, it's the best travel primer out there. Right. It's awesome.
Yeah, and remember too that I'm a guy that really teaches priming from black. because your shadows are already baked on. So I'm always putting a black layer down,
You're
and then
not
if I'm
really-
going over it with white, then I can mix it with the black to make it gray if I need to. So
You don't really go from white ever. I don't think I've ever seen you paint from white, unless it was that one
models
troll.
models like these give me the willies.
Well, that was just because you were also testing a color, literally testing it. So
Well, they sent them to us primed white. Or
Right.
did you prime? No, they primed these.
no, they primed those white.
Yeah. They give me the willies because now I have to paint all the shadows on there, and it's the hardest areas of the model to get to are the shadows. So I always prime black so that the shadows at least start black. I'm still putting paint in the shadows, but when I'm lazy about applying my base coat, I know the shadow is going to always be black, and it's one of those things where if I can't see it, it doesn't matter anyway, so just let it be black. Let it be black primer. There's models around here that are fully painted that are probably, got somewhere where there's black primer that I can't see, but you'd never know. Right? Because I at least tried to put the purple down.
And we don't have a video on that black primer or brush on in particular, Meeply. I know that we don't have one. But maybe Jason, maybe I can do that video, Jason. You think I could?
Tech back.
I think I could.
Is he asking to do a video, chat?
I think I could do that one about the brush on primer. I think I could do that one.
I mean, we've seen his prime jobs, chat. What do you think? Chad, I'm going to let you answer this one.
Whoa, no. I'm a good primer.
Chad, I'm going to ask about the back of all these texture trainers.
No, we don't talk about that. Jason, you literally designed the framables to not have a back, so you didn't have to paint the back. You said that to me.
Are paint and primer two different words, Chris? I'm just asking. For a friend, maybe.
No. In the grand scheme.
Danger Boy says hit the back if you do a video.
Whoa, hey there. I won't. Well, I totally would in that video.
Stan, take it easy.
Stan, what's going on? Have a good one. Good luck out
You
there,
have faith
Stan.
in him as long as it doesn't need a 360 shot of the model.
I'll do it.
Chat,
I'll do it.
Chad, I love you.
I'll do it for Jason.
I love you, Chad. You always have my back.
I'm going to do it.
Forbidden Coffee. In our local club, your dad was immortalized in story for unplugging the outdoor water fountain of the convention center to airbrush a model at IPMS Nats in Anaheim. Oh, it was like plugged in a wall and he plugged his compressor in instead. Hero mode. Hey,
Badger, I'll do it.
Hey, you know what? Priorities, my friend. Priorities. I have been at conventions standing outside in the rain priming with a rattle can before so that I could have a model to paint.
I've done it here.
It's crazy.
The rare time it rains
horrible.
here, the rare time it rains that we need a model primed, I've had to do that before.
That was in St. Louis, and I had a model that I bought from a vendor there that people were staying late and painting all night long till like 2 a.m.
Oh boy!
And I was like, I'm down. We're ordering pizza and we're painting all night long. I said I have this model and I have my Pro-Acryl. And so I went outside and I sprayed it. It was super humid and rain.
No.
I mean, like it was raining, but I was under an awning, but it was raining, like torrential rain. And I'm outside spraying. I'm like, this is gonna suck. And it did. The primer was like having candle wax on the model. Every brush stroke I would take would just bead up, and it was crazy. So I overcame it, but it was a pain in the butt.
Luckily, we don't have that problem here ever.
No,
hey,
I needed an airbrush.
Jason,
an airbrush would have solved all my ills.
It did rain though.
Where?
This last week. Yeah,
we had like 4 droplets. The concrete didn't even change color.
Do you remember though? I had a headache.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
I'm a barometer. It actually rained quite a bit up at my house.
He's a wuss.
That's why I moved to Arizona, so I don't have to deal with this.
So you can
rain.
get sick when it rains?
Yeah, it doesn't rain. Luckily, it doesn't rain.
I mean, it is whatever they call this season. What's this called?
Monsoon
season. It's monsoon season.
Monsoon, barely know her.
No, that's not. Oh, it's horrible. That was horrible, Chris.
Meanwhile, here in Florida, it storms like every day.
I can't stand it. When I had an office in Miami when I had my first business, and I got to tell you, every time I had to go to Miami and work, I was like, this is gonna suck. I would go back to Texas and literally have sinus infection for like a month because of the humidity difference, even between Texas and Florida, just absolutely killed me.
Yeah. Every time, Ogre. Every time I know when rain's coming, because I get a headache. It's horrible. What color is a monsoon? Says Danger Boy. Great question. It's probably
All of them.
It's this color that Jason's using literally right now.
Is it? I felt it was more like dust storm brown.
It depends. Jason,
Or
can you
is dust
center?
storm a gray?
Can you center up a little for me, Jason?
No, okay. I
Uh-oh.
want you to look. I am right in the middle of this paper.
You want to center up for me?
You got up there and moved my camera.
I didn't. I
You
should.
did. The thing was here.
No, I didn't move it. I will move though.
No, don't. Don't you dare right now. You stand right there.
I will literally move the camera.
No, you won't.
Yes, it definitely hits me every time, and it is a little humid here this week too. We've got some humidity.
Well, last night it should have been raining up by you.
It did.
Because I was when I was going and taking the dogs out last night, there was a big lightning storm up by you.
It's on the way. Like, I get the headache when the storm is on the way.
Gotcha.
You know? It's like a couple days before I'll typically get it.
So this is the mix color we made that we just airbrushed these highlights with, but you can see how much brighter it is off of the brush than through the airbrush. So this is a really good trick for you when painting with an airbrush, is that you can take the same color, pop in closer.
Yeah.
You can take the same color and paint it with a brush and get it to do double duty. Because I said duty.
He said big duty.
I did not. I said double duty.
Big duty.
That's not what I said.
Huge duty.
I did not say huge duty.
All right,
now
double
I
duty.
just said huge duty. You bastard. Never fails.
Never fails. Phoenix is the work trip I dread, especially in the summer. It's not fun.
It can be a lot to handle. You know, but we have air conditioning and it works real well. And we actually, knock wood, have a pretty well structured infrastructure here. So we don't get like rolling brownouts or something like New York does. So we actually do very, very well for keeping all these ACs running all summer long.
Yeah.
You don't really have, now that I've said that, we'll have a huge power outage this summer, but
Don't say that. Don't say that, Jason. That would be horrible.
I don't know what this thing is, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight it just in case it
looks
is
like
something.
It's Tau, right? Like, it looks like a breastplate emblem.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hexagon is or penta.
A hoop de plenty.
Pentagon. This is a pentagon.
They're on the phone right now. Bling, bling, bling. It's the Pentagon.
Got him, Mr. President. Oh, the president's not at the Pentagon.
Is Chris your analog air compressor?
Yes, he just blows in a straw and we paint things.
Burp. Hey, that's a great idea.
That's how we fill balloons, because he's full of hot air.
What button do I press for that?
Yeah. Got. Oh, what? What? Horrible.
Boo! Oh, there you go, chat. You guys, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but can I listen to this door? You guys ready for this? Listen to this door.
Cool story, bro.
Wow, it didn't make the noise at all. That was horrible. It makes a noise. Oh.
Cool story, bro.
Oh my gosh, Jason.
Welcome to Christopher.
I couldn't.
Most of his stories are exactly like
You
this.
can't plan that crap out. That was supposed to make a horrible creaking sound, which it normally does.
I don't know what he's talking about, Chad. That door is well oiled.
It makes sound. It makes like a Luigi's Mansion style door opening. So, guess not.
That's how you know it's a horror mansion door, when it knows you need it to perform.
Oh no!
It knows you need it to perform, and it just said, "Hold my beer."
Well. Chris trying to give me away. And if it does it later at some point, we know it's haunted. Good thing we're maybe vacating soon. We'll see, right, Jason?
Don't you dare ruin. Don't you jinx us.
Jinx you? No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we hope to sell the building, but
You mentioned that last week.
yeah, but we don't have an offer, so.
Oh, well, we'll see. But you won't know, chat. That's the magic. It's like nothing ever happened, right, Jason?
Why did you punch
won't
back
know.
out so far?
Baggins. There you go. You'll never know. You'll never know, chat.
Well, they will know.
No, they won't.
'Cause-
Jason?
What do you mean?
Jason, they won't know.
Well, what won't they know?
They won't know.
If we sell the building?
No, they won't know that. They won't even know if the studio moved. It'll be magic.
Is it just going to look exactly the same? We wouldn't take the opportunity to make something new happen?
I guess we could. If we wanted to.
So the whole idea, Chris, is
Well,
that the
I was
next
good-
studio...
I was going to say...
Okay, so listen to this, chat, because the idea that we have for the next... Or that must just be me, because Chris already thinks that we're just going to look the same as this.
I thought we could have other spots in the studio. I know that.
So what's going to happen if everything goes well is that we will have the studio in a place where people can come and have a live studio audience.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
So that we can have it be visible to the people that would be in
I
the
think that's
experience center.
I think that's a great idea.
And so that may be a thing. That's my hope.
I don't
have a lot of dreams, but that's one of them. So.
That would be cool.
So we'll see if that can happen.
That would be very cool. You mean we get to heckle Chris in real time? Yes, and every time you heckle, you owe me $50.
Yeah, it does cost, but you know.
Oh, we'll give you heckling. We'll give you roast time if you want to spend the money.
Can somebody tell me what this rudder on his backpack does?
I would say that's an antenna.
Why does it have a rudder? Why does it have
it's
like
like one of those,
like an aileron?
Have you seen those camera antennas? They literally like they're shark fins for those wireless mics.
But they don't have a rudder. See that little rectangle that cuts in there? The idea that gives me is that thing moves left and right.
Maybe. I don't think it's a rudder.
It ruds when he flies? Oh. He's the one when he's on this thing?
Ghost Hunter.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't airbrush the highlight on this. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool, Jason. That would be pretty cool. It's actually a high-tech floaty. Okay. I could see that. I'll start saving now. Need to save for One Step and Chris heckling. There you go. Yes. We'll sell tickets.
Look at me. I broke up my highlight for the shadow from his clothes. Ta-da! That's thinking, Batman. It's probably not the right spot, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that.
We'll take it here.
I'll take
Does this
that.
mean we're getting a dunk tank? I think, Mo, that would be a great idea, but it would also be hard if I'm producing the show and getting dunked at the same time. Although that would be amazing, and I will get all the money.
He has to hold a toaster the whole time.
Then I'm definitely getting all the money. For every dunk that I have to hold a toaster and risk my life just for you, chat, because I would do it just for you. That goes right there. Gabe can produce, Droth. He could.
Ish.
Oh, he could do it. If I'm getting dunked. Okay, here's my request. If we get a dunk tank, then you have to pay, but then for the first 30 seconds I get to roast you, and then you get to dunk me. There you go. That's my one request. $5 a dunk, and I get to roast you for 30 seconds.
Roast them?
Roast them, Jason. Live.
All right.
Get roasted.
Get roasted.
You think you can paint?
Wow, Chris.
Yeah, you like that?
No,
The
I
real-
don't.
the
These
real-
are our friends.
The real roast would be even worse, man.
These are our friends, our customers, technically our bosses. When you think of it like that.
Tadpole, can you bring Phil back for the dunk tank? Oh, he'll run the tank. He'll be the guy who polishes the little baseball that gives it back to you. Wow. That'll be cool, Jason. When is this happening?
First, you got to sell the building.
No, but that's the thing. They won't know.
I think they'll know.
Ghost Hunter says, you can roast my painting. I know it sucks. Ghost Hunter, don't talk about my friend Ghost Hunter that way. Tech Badger. Wait, you really think I'm qualified to be Chris's boss? Of course, Tech Badger. Why not? Dunk me for $5.
You guys are the customers. You are our bosses.
That's
how
right.
that works.
That's
I only
right.
have one boss, and it's you guys. You guys tell me if I'm doing all right. You review me by buying stuff from us. There's a reality here,
That's right.
and we got to live up to it.
Oh, points are dropping for 11th on Wednesday. Okay. We're going to find out that I can take 3 Stompas. Woohoo!
Oh, God. Please, no.
Cranky. I thought Jen was your boss.
No.
Says Mo.
Well, yes, but no. You
On
guys
paper.
are my boss.
You, the beautiful hobby nerds, are our real bosses. You tell us. That's right. The customer's always right.
No,
I knew
that is not true.
Except for when they say silly things, Jason.
That
Like,
statement,
let's go dunk somebody for $5.
That is not a correct use of that
Oh
statement.
my gosh, you guys hear that? They're coming for me. This is it.
Thank God.
Wow.
Thank God. Finally. What took you so long?
You're going to miss me when I'm gone, chat. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. About time. Called them days ago, says Mo. The Phoenix PD's got 1,000 other things they could do besides come fire and put me in jail.
We wouldn't fire you if you were in jail.
Only when I get there. As a new boss, I'm satisfied with my first purchase of Monument products recently. Got the one-step set and some brushes and have been loving the experience. Ha-ha!
I love to hear
Thanks,
it.
boss.
I love to hear it.
That's cool.
I'm
Thank
a
you for
fan.
giving us a try. And most importantly, glad you're loving the paints.
100%.
That's the moral of that story.
That's not a moral.
Oh, it's a moral, all right. The moral of the story, Jason, is we got great paints and we love that you get to try them and use them every day. And you should be painting every day, right, Jason? If you can.
I would love for everybody to have the time to paint every day.
That
I'm
would
not
be a
going to tell anybody
luxury.
that that's the way it should work. Because I don't think that's very realistic.
That would be paradise.
But I would love that. You know,
A
I don't get
paradise
to
for
paint every
sure.
day. I get to paint most days.
That's true. That's very true.
But
That
yeah,
is a luxury for a lot of people.
that's my second genie wish.
For what? What's your second genie wish?
That everybody would get to paint every day.
That is a good genie wish. That would be a wild genie wish. Ogre says, when will more one-step sets be coming? Ogre, what a great segue.
That's not a segue.
When are more coming, Jason?
They are coming in end of July at Gen Con. That is set to release date. So very, very close. Very, very close.
Not the new sets, the one that already came out.
Oh. What do you mean? Are we out?
I just checked and we have that in. So
They're in stock, so I don't know what you're talking about. They should be in stock.
Yeah, they're in stock.
Where are you? Are you in the EU? Are they out in the EU, maybe?
Yeah, Ogre, they should be in stock. So, Cyberspy says, so for all of this green metal method, how do you all know where the brightest part should be? Oh, that's a great question.
We start with picking an angle on every model, right? And every model's been different. You know, this guy's off of his right shoulder. I typically am looking for a way to make it where it's the side that's open, meaning that, I'm not going to, like, this guy is not bright off his left shoulder because his gun's in the way of his face. So he's bright off of his left shoulder, right? So whereas this guy's dark over here. So I'm basically taking the model and saying, where would the highlight like to be? And then I'm hitting it like that, in this case with the airbrush, to do the zenithal, right? And then everything else I paint just follows that. It's like a paint by numbers now. I've shown you where the bright color is because the airbrush can only hit those areas. And now I just highlight those edges, right? So in terms of like when the light is coming from here, then I want to pull all my edges, the edges that face the light. So every edge that faces to our left, his right, gets a highlight on it, typically. I'll put some on like the front of the gun, even that doesn't face that way, just because I want to make the front of the gun detail brighter too. But I won't make it quite as bright at the front as I will the edges that face the light. It's really that simple. That's why things like a zenithal highlight work so well, because they set up that kind of paint by numbers mentality that lets you just easily know, okay, like as soon as I know that it's off of his right shoulder, so this edge right here would be the one that faces upward and to the right shoulder, right? So I'll do the top of every line I can, and then that edge back here. Typically, I might also do the forward edge with this color because this is not my brightest highlight color. So with this mid-tone highlight that I've done with the airbrush, I'll highlight more edges with it to get that kind of metallic look at the end from the sheen that we're creating. But it really is that easy. As I'm moving around the model, I'm just always keeping in my head where my light source is and highlighting those edges that face my light source. And sometimes taking liberties and highlighting things that are in the darkness too, just so that I can have more detail. Or catch a detail on the model that I think is cool. Like something like under here is kind of bland if it's just dark all the time. So being able to go in and drop a mid-tone highlight, and I call this a mid-tone highlight because, again, it's not the brightest color we're going to highlight with. But if I can drop that in on that little edge right there, and then maybe a little bit along this edge in the background, right? Then that brings that whole little detail to light better underneath the arm. So even if it's in the shadow, because the dark colors around it do the idea of the shadow and take care of that. So the bright color doesn't ruin or interrupt any of that, really. It just lets you put details on there.
Krieg says, what would be a workup for dark jade as the base / main color, black primer, dark sea ben, or Payne's gray zenithal to white or taupe? I'm wanting to do a salamander small force without the bright green warpstone green most salamanders are known for.
With jade, I like dark blue, so Payne's gray would work great, or just dark blue works great. And then taupe over it would be great. Pale yellow, taupe, anything in that range for green. Although the pale yellow will make the green a little bit yellower, which you're saying you don't want necessarily. So taupe would be great. It'll just desaturate and brighten the green. So that could be really cool.
Oh, nice. Rubik's first time chat says, thank you for the last shadow talk. I've been struggling with that for some time now. Glad it hit a tone for you.
100%.
Just Grumpy says, you keep saying paint by numbers. That's my wife's nickname for you. It's more my tenacity to want to.
Is this just numbers. Grumpy enough?
Just Grumpy enough.
Hey, I hope you're doing well, man. I have seen your updates. I hope you're doing great.
Yeah.
He's a local. I don't know if they're local right now, but I think so.
Yeah. And hey, Just Grumpy, thank you so much for that.
Mr. Brian, sub. He's a great guy. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, doing well. Nice.
Tell your wife she's my hero. Looks like she's taking great care of you. I don't have an edge to work with here. It's just that it's kind of that cylinder of the toe rounds out. So I'm just going to do a little dagger shape there to catch that, what would be an edge.
Yeah.
And then maybe if you want, this has got like ground caked on it, so I'm not really sure that it matters to do it down there, but just in case, we're going to add with over the red kind of Martian-y earth that I'm doing, I'm going to do the red pigment up on the feet.
Yeah.
But it always helps to even highlight these low details so that when you put the pigment or whatever effect you're doing for mud or whatever over the feet, that you still have that edge look like it would catch a little bit of light.
Roth, he literally just answered that. Perfect timing.
What's that?
He was asking what color are you going to do for these bases?
Yeah, they are all kind of a red desert base, more of a natural red desert, not like necessarily Martian earth, more like our Arizona red desert, Moab kind of stuff. But it's just our burnt sienna, orange oxide, dark warm flesh work up there, and then some brownish green little tufts of grass on there to bring a little contrast onto the base, and my one little skull.
Just a little tactical skull in there, huh?
This really makes the monochromatic armor color come to life, because we're just doing this very easy work. I say it's very easy. The million miles of edge highlighting you have to do on tile makes this not as easy as I wish it was, but the color scheme is very easy. And then we just, I still have to do like all the light, the digital lights and stuff on him, probably some jetpack glow and stuff like that. But it looks good on the big and the small models. I think it really comes and pulls it all together really nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hallie says, hey guys, finally caught a live stream. Hard, I'm in Ireland with time differences. Wondering if I could ask for an Easy Army Raven Guard black recipe with an airbrush. 3-step edge highlights are not fun.
Yeah.
Great question. And welcome in from Ireland.
Can you, definitely. Welcome in. Glad you got to catch us. Can you give the link to the Lion's black armor?
Yes.
Would be a great start on that.
Antonio.
Or Antonio El Tigre. This edge is going to be really hard because it's hidden behind a tuft. It isn't going to want to really play well,
Go ahead and watch. This will take you directly to our site where you can see the video that he's talking about.
Raven Guard's neat because they're very
he
neutral
uses.
Black, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't take and do a chromatic black with them, because I think black always deserves a little bit of a chromatic treatment. Otherwise, it's boring to look at. If you just do gray blacks, neutral blacks, then they can get lost in looking unpainted almost.
Okay.
So I really like adding a little bit of color to anything I paint that's black. And blues and purples are the easiest thing in the world. So when I look at, we did, when the Primaris first came out, we did all of these. So I did my Raven Guard. Look, ta-da!
He's a little dusty.
He's a little dusty, but not bad. Hopping close. So this guy was done just sketching with grays. So I just did black coat, then dark neutral gray, bright neutral gray, and then I did a filter over the top of our transparent black. And the transparent black from the top, I added transparent blue a little bit, so you see a little bit of a bluish, grayish hue on this.
Yeah.
And from the bottom, I actually added red. It doesn't show through as much, but I added red from the bottom, which gives it a kind of a neat hue. But it was so deep black from the bottom that color didn't really show. But you can see that the blue did. This is probably one of the easiest ways to get a really good black, because you can go through and just do it in sketchy grays. There's a video on our YouTube from eons ago that's called something like From Garbage to Great or something like that. If you look for maybe how to paint black armor or something, or search, it was years and years and years ago on the YouTube, but it exists, and it shows how sketchy it was and then how the filter pulled it all together. This is a trust the process way of painting black, but it looks really, really good because that little bit of blue from the highlight combined with the neutral and kind of just dull black everywhere else works great, but allows you to pull as much shine into it as you want.
That right there that I just put up is the exact methodology for this model too.
Yeah.
So we have that video, we have that. But yeah. Just
so I did a big series on that, but I paint a lot of that blackish armor that way and do it where it's more chromatic. This is just using Payne's Gray. This is the video he sent you to. This is using Payne's Gray and white blue and building it up so it looks more blue as you get. It also has dark purple as a shadow, but it's Payne's Gray and white blue, I believe, working up, and then you put black wash over that, and the black wash grays out a little bit of the blue, but still leaves it being more chromatic than the standard grays would be, and then you re-highlight it with either a little bit of white blue or bright neutral gray or whatever your preference is, and that gives you a really good black armor too. Both are very simple. They're just a trust the process way to paint, because black is the hardest thing. You typically will over gray it as you work through your midtones because you're always looking to highlight, and in order to make your highlights feel right, you're kind of putting too much gray on the black. So this is a way that lets you do that, make it too bright, and then use a black filter over the top to bring all that brightness back down. Works really well.
Glad. Haley says, unreal. Thanks, lads. That's perfect. Legends. Hey, glad that worked out for you. Good luck.
Thank you. I want to do a little bit more because I got wet paint, but we don't have to go very long. We have a meeting?
You and I do.
Oh, well, then that's not important.
So, it's important, Jason, but that's not for a while. You have time.
I hate to waste.
No, you can. You're good.
The paint that we use to airbrush. I'm like, it's so cheap. It's right in front of me. Let's keep going.
Just Grumpy says, I love how you always have a model in reach to answer every question. Yes.
That's why we don't get rid of the models here. Everybody asks, what do you do with the painted models? I'm like, it goes on a shelf, gathers dust, and waits for somebody to ask a question.
That's right.
I blow the dust off, and we hope we have something that's relevant for what you're asking. I don't always, because as much as we paint, I don't always have the solutions sitting right in front of me, but it's nice when we do.
Yeah, we've been, I was looking at some of those old YouTube videos and trying to update them so that they go to our learning tab, because there's some old ones out there from a long time ago that are still really, really good.
Yeah, it's still really relevant. It's funny, right? Painting doesn't change. So, being able to take those old ones, we've been doing this for 10 years. So there's a lot of stuff that's come and gone that still is as precious today as it was back then.
Some of those methodologies, and I just linked that. So if you guys aren't familiar, our methodologies page has literally all of those on there. You can go and double check that.
The Learn tab on Monument Hobbies is fast becoming one of the major places to go to catch up with all the stuff that we've done over the years.
Yep.
Old and new. So Chris and his team are killing it with being able to keep that up to date and getting us some really, really good content on there that is outtakes from the stream, full stream. Well, the full streams are still on YouTube, but the good stuff.
Yeah, so go check those out. We can always reference back as far as we can go, but for specific VODs, it goes back for a couple years now. They're all on YouTube, so typically it's on there if you see it. Unless it's like super, super ancient, but no, Philip, I am not bald under here. I would never lie to people about my non-baldness, That's
so
for
chat,
bald man
on
out there.
Saturday, we had a friends painting group.
Oh boy, here we go.
And it was great because when you have friends that enjoy the hobby together, there is nothing better. It just feels so good to do that.
Just the
and so
drama.
we reached out to one of our good friends who you may know as our own very loved and dear C+ producer, Christopher. And we said, hey, Chris, we're going to be getting together in hobby, a bunch of your friends. And we would really love to see you there because it would really brighten our days to have a Chris. And Chris said to us...
I didn't get that. I'll read you verbatim what you said.
Chris said to us, I am going to get my hair cut I
No.
cannot make it.
No, first I said, gotcha. I think I'm going to swing by. I don't think I'm going to swing by, but I'll let you know if that changes. And then you said the non-committal boyfriend.
Yep, I said the non because that's what he did. He was being non-committal. He's like, I don't think so, but I'll let you know. And then when we found out why he didn't think so, it was because he said he had to go get a haircut.
I had many things going on this weekend.
A haircut, chat.
I had many things.
So what you see before you right now is why he hates his friends.
False. This is all false. Don't listen to Jason's story.
I cried. Lots.
None of this is real. K Shorties. Jason's able to zoom in himself now. I gave him that power.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go here.
100, 200, and then you have 400.
But I'm trying to stay away from that because as soon as I realize I can do everything I'm asking Chris to do.
What is that, Jason? I had things going on this weekend. Secret, fun time, win things. But hey, I did have to get a haircut. D. Schmid coming out with the science. Chris, you got a full head of hair. Why would you only get one haircut? You should cut them all. Thank you, D. Schmid. Thank you.
So remember that for next time.
Remember that. That's very expensive haircut. Yeah, I got my hairs cut. You sack-filled baggins. You're right. Chris gets to ride off into the sunset. Boshak, unfortunately, not. I will remain here. I will not pass into the west. And I will remain here to do that. So I apologize to you.
To do what? Zoom in?
To not pass into the west.
Oh, I don't understand. You said you'd stay here rather than passing into the west.
No. Man, listening to Lionel Johnson's Son of the Forest on Audible is great. Makes me love Dark Angels even. Only 4 hours left on it.
I couldn't get through that book. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I need to go back and try again. I don't know if it was because I tried to listen to it at the tail end of a bunch of other Horus Heresy stuff. And I think I was just kind of maxed out on my ability. And the new stuff doesn't compare in my eyes to the storytelling of the Horus Heresy. So I think I just didn't give it a fair shake. I have it. I should go back and try it again. It didn't work for me. It was being pretty brutal where I only got as far as him going and collecting some of the what are they called? Not the Forgotten.
The Understood.
No, the bad guys.
Sal's got a question. As a colorblind painter, what color is your advanced flesh tone? I've tried Googling and gotten nothing. Your advanced flesh tone.
Think of it as a middle brown with more of a golden hue to it, right? So it's like a golden flesh tone, I think is the right way to.
A golden
to
flesh tone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I would consider it, is a golden flesh tone. You know, it's a brownish, and it still has it just rather than most flesh tones leaning more towards pinks, it leans towards kind of a golden yellow tone, like that sun-kissed, like Middle Eastern Indian flavor. Right, bad way to talk about skin. I'm not a cannibal.
Yummy.
Yum.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
It puts the lotion on the skin or gets the hose.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that helps, Sal.
Why is there so many panel lines?
Tau are edgy. I just remember Jason laughing at me when I complained about edges when I was painting Tau a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. I laughed.
Long pork stream?
I'm suffering now.
Ghost Hunter? Sure. We're going along for a little bit. He's got some paint left in his cup. Sal says it does. Thanks. Good. I'm glad it does. This is the first Warhammer book I've listened to / read over 20 years.
Awesome.
Last was the Iron Warriors and one introducing Hanzo? Interesting. I've never read a book
Chris can't read.
from Warhammer.
Chris can't read. I love
You
how
like
you
how I
paused
stopped?
right there. That was great. I've
I've
never read a book.
The problem that I have is that I just keep reading Tolkien stuff over and over again. When I go and I choose to actually read my books, I will actually just keep reading those. And I still learn stuff. Isn't that crazy? Still learning every day. I think I was telling chat the other day about the whole Morgoth had something with there was some weird, wacky stuff Morgoth did with the sun spirits and all that. It was crazy. I can't go into a stream because it's actually very visceral. So I don't, and very graphic. But there's some wacky stuff.
Weird, wacky things.
It's crazy.
It's weird, wild stuff. Chris.
Painting Board says, I don't think I would like them, but the orc audiobooks are always fun. Wait, okay, is the actor literally being the orcs too?
Talks like a soccer hooligan.
I'm thinking about like how every RTS Warhammer game has their orcs, and they're like, "Oh, bloody, and now, boss," and you can't understand them at all.
No, they definitely do.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to listen to those.
They definitely do. Yeah,
Cockney accents.
Yeah, they have the very
right,
Cockney
boss.
Soccer hooligan. They're great. They're well worth the listen. The ones that I've listened to, I've really enjoyed on the orc side of things.
I love that they give the orcs the Cockney accents. I will say that. I think that's a silly choice.
They literally patterned them after soccer hooligans. When you talk to the original studio guys, it was like, yep, it was all about soccer hooligans. Football hooligans, sorry.
Jason.
Sorry, oh my God.
Your American is showing. Oh, boy. Did you watch the soccer game, Jason, this weekend?
No, are you kidding? The Stanley Cup Finals were on.
You're an avid soccer player, though.
Never once in my... I did when I was a kid because you had to, I think. But no, not a sport I have ever cared about. Hockey was on, though, and the Stanley Cup Finals happened, and Carolina beat Vegas.
Oh, there you go.
Which is a word that you wouldn't think you'd ever say growing up, that Carolina versus Vegas would be a thing in hockey, but there we are.
Stanley Cup, there you go.
But here we are.
Can't believe Vegas lost. No.
I was really, really happy to see Rod Brindamore win it as a coach because he won one with the Hurricanes as a player, and so that was really cool. Great story.
Creek said the Pope said it's soccer, so now it's soccer. That's not allowed to be that silly.
Yeah, I think Jen mentioned that to me. He said, well, that's what you get when you have an American Pope.
Shoot, he called football soccer.
Whoops.
Oh, no.
Whoops, we're doomed.
There goes all of those.
How much of the world he pissed off in one fail stroke.
Was it a good game, Jason? Did you enjoy watching it?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh.
I just said it happened.
Oh, I see. You didn't watch it?
No. There was PoE 2 to play.
And Tau to build.
And Tau to build.
PoE and Tau. That's where you'll find me.
Yeah, I don't really, I did say to myself over the weekend that I should go look when the game is on and I should give it a watch because it was the ability for somebody to win. Well, for Carolina to win. And or for Vegas to take it to Game 7. And I wish I would have watched it because they blew them out, right? It was 3-0. Yeah. They blanked them in the finals there. And that goalie was a great story, too, because he's an undrafted rookie, Brandon, whatever his name is. And for Carolina, he's an undrafted rookie, and they put faith in him, and he won 3 games in the finals there. So he'll get his name on the Stanley Cup Finals as an undrafted rookie in his rookie season, I think. That's amazeballs, because he was largely the reason it happened, is they trusted him and put him in there, and that's a big deal. So that was a lot of fun. But no, I didn't remember with all my nerdiness, I was so wrapped up in doing all my other things that was a brief thought that I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll watch some hockey. And then that never happened.
That's good. What are you playing in PoE2 this season, Jason?
Amazon. I've only ever done Monk in PoE2 when it was brand new. I'm a founder, backer, or whatever, and went through the first release and Monk and did Frost Monk and enjoyed the hell out of it. But the standard PoE problem when the story isn't complete and you get to the end game and the end game was okay but not great, and I mapped and I got all the keys and I killed the final boss, and then I was like, well, now what? Because I'm not a big seasonal game player. We were talking about that at launch. It doesn't appeal to me much to do the whole what am I going to play this season?
Right.
I just don't care. I'm like, I've already played this game. Why do I have to go play the whole story again? And people are just burning through the story to get to their new build, and I'm just like, I don't have it in me to do that. But I am enjoying the build that I'm doing now. I'm just playing. I made the mistake of watching a build video that I thought was up to date with the new release, and it wasn't.
Oh, I have totally done that. There's so much info about the game that
you got to be careful,
and it goes quick too.
You got to be careful. But anyway, I watched a build, and so then I kind of was like, oh, I want to do that, and so I kind of decided to do Amazon because of it. And it's not that the build is bad now, but it just doesn't have everything that was looking cool in that video I watched.
Yeah.
So I'm making it up as I go and just playing.
I kind of like doing that because I fall into the traps. If I start looking up build videos, it gets really in the weeds. Frank says, do you have any tips for loading your brush for all those edge highlights?
Yeah, you'll see my thumb is where I'm controlling the amount of fluid on the brush, right? So loading is always the same. I just go over to the palette and dip my brush in the paint, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's unloading that's the key. We talk about brush loading, but what we're really meaning, I think, is how we unload and make sure that what we have on the brush is correct. And so, I'll come over here, wet my brush, and then right now I just have a cup, right? Because this is the stuff we were airbrushing in, and so I just dip the tip in the cup. And so now I have however much the tip soaks up. And then I come over here and I get rid of it until the point where I'm really only able to do about a brush width brush stroke. It doesn't go much broader than that. Because now I know when I go and touch the model with the paint, it won't overload an edge and make an ultra thick line. And I can do just small little dits and doots, right? And get away with it. So that's really what I'm looking for, is to just offload a bunch of that paint, so that what I'm left with works exactly the way I need it to, and that's it. And so I'm using a number 2 brush, which our brushes run numerically a size bigger than they really are, I think, judging by what you may have seen in other brushes. So a 2 is more like a 1 in some other brushes, and so it doesn't hold a whole lot of paint anyway, but a reasonable amount. And you can see that I can pull quite a bit of edge highlighting here with just that 1, even though I took a bunch of the paint off of it.
Yeah.
Some of that is the fluidity of the paint. This paint was diluted for airbrush, and so it's, pretty thin anyway. But a lot of it, too, is just not pushing really hard. I'm taking very, very simple, easy brush strokes here. And that's allowing me to control and make sure that I'm not getting a lot of paint running off of the bristles at any time, and thickening as I go with brush pressure rather than, lots of paint on the brush. Hitting an area 2, 3, 4 times to thicken the line up as I need, stuff like that. So also holding the model right here where I've done all this highlighting, so I keep probably rubbing that off.
Cool.
And that's it. That's really the trick, and then just making sure that you're being patient when you're pulling your lines. so that you can keep them thin and as even as possible. Again, this isn't a display model for me, so if I get a little wonky with the lining, then it's not going to be the end of the world, but I still want it to look good. So the better I can keep the line, even, the better off I am in the long run.
There you go. Painting board, take it easy. Frank says, thank you. Thank you. Sound really close to a fine line dry brush technique. You guys are amazing. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and kind of. I mean, when we're dry brushing, we're worried about taking a lot of the paint off the brush because that's the technique, right? But that's really the technique for all painting, is controlling how much paint you need on that brush, and then load it appropriately. And I'm always looking at these are very fine details where I can't push the brush in very far, or I'll hit the back side of this little indentation. Right? There's not much of an edge here, and so very, very light brush pressure, angling the brush as I need it. I have my brush flattened out into kind of a chisel shape right now, which you'll see me talk about and paint with all the time, where I have one edge that's flatter.
Yeah.
If you can see, it's a little bit broader there, and then rotate it this way for my knife's edge.
Yeah.
I paint like that a lot. So this one can pull a line this way laterally, right, and cover more distance and do it very nice and get the paint on there in one stroke. And then this way can get in and do those little tight details that I need to do. So I paint like this a lot. And a lot of people say, why don't you use a filbert or something like that? Filberts are made to be thicker. They don't get as knife an edge. They have a broad edge and a narrow edge, but the narrow edge is still more like an artist round. So I prefer to take the artist round and flatten it out into a chisel, because there isn't a brush made that comes with that narrow of an edge in one direction. So helps out a lot.
Jason, does Jen paint? Asks Faceman.
100% she paints. Absolutely. One of the best painters in the quickest amount of time that I have ever run across. She had never painted before meeting me. She said one day, hey, would it be cool? Would it help, with numbers on the stream, or do you think people would like to watch me paint? And
yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, chat was asking, let's have you paint some. And so we did, and everybody loved it, and she loved it. And yeah, she doesn't get enough time to paint nowadays, but she still loves to do it. She keeps threatening to get on here and paint. She produces a show on Fridays now.
Yeah, well, maybe one of these Fridays you can get her on to paint, and then Jason can produce. Well,
we've always had, like, the first time that we did the watch somebody paint a thing for the first time, I think was her painting a model, and then she did her first non-metallic metal online with me teaching her. But this, just to piss you off.
Oh yeah,
this is Jen. This is Jen's painting, right? You can pop in close.
Yeah.
This is.
Oh yeah. This
is Jen's.
Great job.
This is 100% brushwork. She does not use an airbrush.
Yeah.
She only uses the airbrush to prime her models. So I want you to look at those blends and now go cry. She's literally one of the best painters that I've ever seen, because she has such an amount of patience on the palette. She would take orange, magenta, purple, and turn it into this, maybe a little bit of yellow. And she would turn it into this, not by blending on the model, but by creating all these colors out of those 3 colors on the palette. She doesn't look for 16 colors. She goes from purple to magenta and blends on those steps, and then adds in some orange. And when you look at her palette, she has this rainbow of colors. It goes from dark to light and has mixed them all in between and does this. And it pisses me off, and I hope it pisses you off too.
Hey, shout out to Jen. And she's an amazing producer. Jason... I just had a question for you, and I'm spacing. It's a good one. It's about your edge highlighting.
You had a question, or somebody else had a question?
I had a question that was relevant to the last question about edge highlighting.
We should stop.
And then I forget.
We had a meeting.
You can keep going if you want.
No. We're good. We're good. Stopping point. We got a lot done.
If you got paint that you need to use, that's
No,
good.
it started to dry up, so it's fine. It's not like I can't mix more. But we're making some good headway. We got 2 more models prepped and quite a long way down the road of edge highlighting to add to our already growing army of the greater good. So, boom. It's coming along,
It's
slow
cool.
but sure.
It's very cool to see the red on those bases.
Yeah, they look a lot better once you drop the red on them. It really makes the whole model come alive. It just makes the color combo really pop.
You know, obviously with all the edge highlighting, once you're kind of done with that, though, you're done. If you just get the
that's the whole goal of this, was to make it to where the airbrushing got 80% of the way there, and then the edge highlighting finished it out. And then you don't have a lot. I mean, we did the purple sword for him, and you got to do the quote unquote black out of the Payne's gray for all the metal bits. But that stuff goes pretty quick. It's just more edge highlighting. And then the color combo really comes together quickly that way. And then you base coat it with the red, and the red is what puts a lot of the contrast into the model temperature wise and helps the composition come together and be very simple but still eye popping, which is good.
Jen says, "Hey, well, you can't be mad because you taught me everything I know." That's true.
You're my scapegoat.
How many pieces will this army be?
Oh, I have 2 squads of these guys, which equals 20 dudes. That's what you see in the background there. I have 5 of the stealth suit guys, so 25 infantry style guys. Plus, I mean, if you want to call this guy one of the leaders, I don't know if he makes the list. I don't know what the list building looks like. I'm not a Warhammer player, so I'm literally I bought this army from somebody, and they were all painted like this.
Oh yeah, we gotta repaint those, or we gotta reprime them.
So I bought this army, and it has 6 crisis suits, commander. I built Shadow Sun. It didn't have Shadow Sun, and I have a Hammerhead and a Devilfish that it didn't have in there that I need to build. And then like a Riptide, the Ghost Keel. I bought a Taunar. So I have a lot of stuff, but I don't know how many models total. Maybe 25, maybe 40 models total. Probably about 40 or 45 models all told. And I don't think they all fit in the list because one of them is a Taunar Supremacy suit. And the Taunar Supremacy suit is literally 790 points on its own because it's a Titan.
There's a lot of questions. Cannoli says, "What's the technique of getting the paint out of the bottle? I find I have to squeeze hard to get the paint out. Started using Pro Acryl."
What's the technique? Make sure that you're opening the lid all the way. This lid is what we call a mustard lid, right? And so when you twist it open, make sure that you've got it twisted to the point to where it'll twist and extend as far as it can go, and it won't extend anymore. If you turn it, it won't do anything. Like it won't pop off or anything, but it twist it as far as it'll go. And then when you turn it over, it should just come out. If you're having to squeeze hard, you're probably not opening the lid properly. Or, if you didn't take the seal off all the way, if the seal, when you tore the seal on the bottle off, I don't have any new bottles here, I don't think.
No, I don't.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I don't know that I've opened this one yet. So, when you get the bottles and the seal is on, sometimes when you tear the seal off, it still leaves some. So that could cause the paint to not flow as readily up into the top. Make sure that the O-ring seal that's in the bottle that's left still leaves the opening open. But other than that, shouldn't cause any issues.
All right. This was you got a lot done today.
Everybody, thank you so much. Had a great time. Yeah.
Long time ago.
Just grumpy. We were just talking about that the other day. That was the last time I played 40K. Was when we ran a campaign at the 16th Street shop, which has been 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 4 years ago, I think. 2022 or 21. It was 21 or 22. I think 22, or maybe right in between there. 8th edition and the end of 8th edition. And that's the last time I played 40K. I haven't touched it since. So this is fun for me. We'll see how this goes. I'll probably dislike it as much as I did back then. But I have an amazing looking army. So it'll be fun. But everybody, thanks for hanging out, watching some paint dry as usual. I swear we will paint things other than Tau here soon.
Well, you're getting a lot done.
I'm just on a run, right? I'm on a dead run, so I'm enjoying it.
Your models, you're almost kind of done. Well, I don't want to say that, but
Oh, I'm nowhere near done.
you're almost done, Jason.
I am nowhere near done.
I would say you're almost there.
Let's not talk like that. That's depressing.
You're pretty close, Jason.
I'm not pretty close.
You're like right around the corner. We got to get this done for that tournament.
But, oh, no, that's not the goal. That's like 2 weeks. Not
Come
happening.
on.
It's not happening.
I think you could do it. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure to follow the links that Chris put in chat and join our Discord. Go check out. Did you do the one link?
No.
Make sure to join the Discord. We have a tremendous community over on our Discord, 24/7, able to talk about hobby, find good inspiration, make new friends, form hangouts in your local community. It's a great place to hang out. Over 7,000 amazing artists just like you guys and gals. So much appreciated. Mucho apreciado. For everybody that came here on a raid and maybe it's your first time watching us, please hit the follow or the subscribe button depending on which platform you're doing this on. We do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's right.
On both YouTube, Twitch, I guess all three, and Kick. All at the same time.
Hey.
So pick your poison. We're there.
Hey, pretty soon some other ones, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Pretty soon
Some
other
Tic Tac?
ones. And some other stuff.
Oh, okay.
We might be everywhere.
Oh, my God. So thank you guys and gals for hanging out with us. Make sure to hit up monumenthobbies.com, monumenthobbies.eu. Buy yourself some Pro Acryls, some Pro Series brushes. Get to painting. Turn all your gray stuff into really amazing stuff. We'd love to see it. So stick around. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid. Show some love in the chat we wind up in, and keep on with your hobby on a Monday evening. Hope your weekend was great, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Adios.